Where are the low-value men?
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whisper star, low value mail, we'll get them all. Low value mail at 9 o'clock, where truth and fiction take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Scroats. Hope you had a lovely, long 4th of July weekend. It is episode number 191 of Low Value Mail on this Monday, July 6th, 2026. Oh, shit, I got to message my friend. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Rito. You guys don't know him. But I'm going to remember to message him. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. As always, there is a priority Patreon number for those of you who support the show. US and Canada still can't figure out the UK thing. Zoom is useless, but I will figure it out. I will also be doing episode number 6 of my Not Financial Advice live stream tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. If you're new, you haven't been keeping up, I've been taking all the money that I get from Patreon, putting it in a Robinhood account, and gambling. Basically on the stock market. We learned some things, though. There's been some learning moments, but it's mostly gambling. And as mentioned before, should there be any profits, we'll do this like end of monthly kind of thing. Should there be any kind of like any kind of profits, really? There will be some sort of Danny dividend going to one or more lucky patrons. We're almost back to even. I hit a nice options trade on Thursday. I think we're down. I think the total of the account is like $1,600 is what I've put in. $1,625, maybe $1,640. I think we're at like 12 something. So we had lost. We were down over. So we're down about $400, but we were down over $800. But if Bitcoin keeps going up, which is looking good. I got a little play on MicroStrategy, so we'll see. Could be a whole different ball game in a couple days from now. But anyways, if you want to support the show, you can get on that the intro screen, the very important Scroats. You can sign up at patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. You get access to our group chat, ad-free audio, Discord if anybody wants that, and you give me more money to gamble with, and maybe some of that money will come back to y'all. You never know. Either way, all right. Let's start the show. Birthright citizenship. This happened after last week's episode, so technically something I want to talk about. So last week, in a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship, much to many of your chagrin. Now, keep in mind, very important fact here, 6 of the 9 Supreme Court justices were appointed by Republicans. Which means this is probably never getting overturned. Maybe some point in the distant future, or maybe some point in the not so distant future, but doubtful anytime soon. Now, technically, Congress can pass a constitutional amendment with 2/3 of the vote. Man, I've been learning so much about America and the government here. I Google all this stuff for the show. But so they can, you need 2/3 of the vote. I'm sure a lot of you know that, but you know, I knew it was around there. I didn't know the exact number, but 2/3 of the vote for a constitutional amendment, which doesn't seem like something that'll happen anytime, maybe ever. I don't know. It seems like to get 2/3 of Congress to agree on anything, specifically getting a single Democrat to vote against birthright citizenship, they're going to have a lot of dirt on those people. Now, birthright citizenship, I didn't quite realize this. I'll be honest. Some of the stuff I talk about on the show, you know, I don't know much about beforehand, at least certain details. So, birthright citizenship is actually the norm in pretty much all of the Americas except for the Dominican Republic and Colombia for some reason. I didn't think it was a uniquely American thing, but I didn't think it was as common as it was. It's not common anywhere else in the world, but for some reason in the Americas, it is quite common. Now, obviously, besides the US, Canada, no one is really scamming their way into citizenship into any of those countries. Maybe they are on, small numbers, but I doubtful in any sort of meaningful way. Obviously, America is the prize. Canada is a consolation prize, if you will. Now, I know the purpose originally of birthright citizenship was so that slaves could become citizens. I guess that was the deal, is slaves weren't citizens. America's really just constantly paying for the whole slavery stuff, huh? Just over and over. They just won't let us be. But, as much as it was, obviously it was so the slaves could be citizens, which I suppose is a good thing. It definitely was not so Chinese tourists could pay money to come to the U.S. with the express purpose of having a child here and then leaving, right? It was not for that. And look, it's one thing. Probably some of you will disagree with me on this. This is fine. But it's one thing when a family is here illegally, but at least they live here. I know they're not supposed to be here, but at least they live here, right? But just the Chinese people or wherever, people do it from all over. I don't want to single out Chinese people, but the notion that you literally come here for the express purpose of giving birth and then leaving is crazy. And obviously the concept of birth tourism wasn't a thing when they drafted the Fourth Amendment. I don't think there was planes. I don't believe there were planes. So it's not something they probably could have foreseen. Now, consider this another blow to everyone worried that the U.S. will cease to be a white nation. Because at this point, irrespective of even this, it seems it's all but guaranteed. You would think that the crazy prohibitive cost of healthcare in this country would prevent people from giving birth here, except that they don't pay, obviously. They just come here. You guys pay for it. That's funny, isn't it? Now, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but when I was on my honeymoon in Anguilla, I think it was Anguilla. Antigua? It was Anguilla. We had a driver there. His name was, I believe it was Chester. I think it was Chester. Nice guy. Good dude. He was our driver for the week that we were in Anguilla, because they don't really have taxis there. It's a tiny island. Not a lot going on there. So he was like our driver. Whenever we needed to go somewhere, he would drive us. And so, got to talking to him, Chester, and because we would spend some time together taking these car rides. And he told me, he's like, yeah, I have 2 kids. They both live in the United States. He was born in Anguilla. I go, oh, interesting. Your kids live in the U.S. How does that work? Because, he wasn't American, obviously. And I mean, my mind cannot comprehend. I'm sure it exists, but my brain cannot comprehend someone who lives that close to America not living in America. I'm sure it exists. I certainly cannot comprehend it. But he was not an American. So I was like, how did that work? And so he basically told me that he had a personal rule whenever he knocked up a woman, and I think he has multiple baby mamas, like 2, that anytime he ever got a woman pregnant, I guess this was just his rule. He only used it twice. Anytime he got a woman pregnant, he immediately, the moment he found out she was pregnant, he sent her to live with his cousin in Miami until the baby was delivered, specifically for the purpose of that child becoming a U.S. citizen. And that, you have to imagine, is probably happening a lot. A lot, right? You figure like most, if you're from, depends what country you're from, but a lot of countries, you're allowed to come to the States for 182 days a year legally. There's lots of countries where you're not, but that's kind of usually you're allowed like countries, I imagine Anguilla is one of them, or maybe they just overstay and they go, yeah, I'm never going back, but my kid's American. I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works, but you do have to imagine this is happening a lot, which again, I'm sure the kids are pumped. They're like, yeah, we don't have to live in fucking Anguilla. No, nothing against Anguilla. Nice place. I'd rather live in America. There's even, I mean, since this whole debate over this stuff, there's things that have come up. There's businesses all over the world, apparently, China, that train women on how to travel to the U.S. when pregnant, and they tell them all the things that they're supposed to say to custom agents in order to not raise suspicions. So basically, there's, you know, I don't even know what the solution is here. I don't think there is a solution besides, you know, Congress voting on this, which will probably never happen. What do you give every woman who's entering the United States a fucking pregnancy test? That doesn't seem doable. So I don't really know. I don't really know. Maybe some sort of penalty if you catch them, but they're already gone, right? I don't even know. I mean, the point is that the kids get even if you punish the parent, they're like, well, the kid's American now. So also speaking of anchor babies, big game tonight for the United States. They take on Belgium to get into the World Cup quarterfinals. In easily one of the oddest things I've ever seen in sports, U.S. star Floridian Balogun received a red card last game, which meant he would not be able to play today. Most American soccer fans had no idea that was the rule because nobody gives a shit about soccer here. And I mean, maybe they care more, but I'm sure a lot of people will be watching tonight. But, you know, a lot of people don't really get how it works. The penalty was reviewed by FIFA, upheld. Then apparently Donald Trump and Howard Lutnick called the head of FIFA to complain about the penalty, which to be honest was kind of bullshit. I don't think there was any sort of like intent to hurt the guy. I think it was just kind of like a bang bang play and it happened, but he didn't mean to hurt him. It just happened. And then FIFA goes and suspends the red card. And so he's playing tonight, which is crazy. Now, the thing is, as you know, if you're an American, you should love this shit. I wish, you know, if I was in Canada, like I would love the fucking prime minister to get on the horn with FIFA to be like, what do you mean about all this? Let's get this overturned. Some Americans who don't like Trump are now rooting for Belgium for some reason. I don't know why. Now, Trump says he didn't pressure the head of FIFA, but obviously when the president of the United States calls you to complain, that is in and of itself pressure, obviously. And this goes without saying, funniest part about this whole thing is Balogun is literally an anchor baby and is the exact type of person Trump wants to strip of his citizenship. Like the exact scenario. His parents literally went on vacation to America from London. He was born in Brooklyn. And then immediately, what happened was they tried to go back to England and the airline was like, you're too pregnant to get on a flight. So you have to stay here in America, give birth, have your anchor baby. And then he went back. The guy has a full British accent. There's nothing about him that is American other than a passport. And now I'm not trying to be one of those people who are like, it's not all bad. Birthright citizenship is not all bad. We have a star player on our soccer club. Because obviously, you know, regardless of what happens in the game tonight, the U.S. is not winning the fucking World Cup. But hilarious nonetheless. Okay, I want to talk about Patriot Front. They're back in the news. And of course, we're going to open the phone lines very shortly. I got Gerard a new computer. It wasn't a new computer. It was actually a 10-year-old MacBook Pro that I had lying around. And we can't get it to work for some reason. So he's using his old computer, but so far so good. Don't want to jinx things, but we're looking good. Anyways, our favorite feds are back in the news as Patriot Front marched in D.C. on July 4th. Now, I say feds tongue-in-cheek, obviously, as I have long been on record at times when it was quite difficult position to hold, saying these are not feds at all. They're not. I mean, I know a lot of you think they're feds. They're not feds. I actually watched, there's a video circulating which you can watch. I'm not going to play it here. It's too long. An impassioned speech by their leader, Thomas Russo. I watched it today, and I have to say, I was pretty impressed with his oratory and the aura. The guy's got some riz. He's a very good speaker. He's exactly the type of person you would want leading your organization. Now, I had never really seen him in that capacity before. Like, at first I was like, is he reading this off of something? Like, this is a pretty impressive speech to be giving without reading it. And he wasn't. It was just off the dome. Maybe he prepared a little bit, but it was quite compelling. Regardless of if you're into that or not, you can look at someone and just be like, that is a, talented speaker. And it really did get me thinking about the whole narrative that they're all feds, which I know many of you are like, they're feds. You believe that they're feds. Personally, I've always found it funny that he basically espouses a lot of beliefs that many of you on, I guess, the farther right believe, but then he's disregarded as some kind of Fed trap, I guess. He's a Fed. He's just, the Feds are setting us up. I don't know. Most of the interviews he gives, he has to spend time making the case that he's actually just a white nationalist and not a federal agent, which, again, hilarious. If you're a white nationalist, you're like, no, I'm a white nationalist. And everybody's like, nah, you're a Fed. Always found that funny. Which, look, if I worked for the federal government, think about this. If I worked for the federal government, I was in fact concerned about the proliferation of a movement like this. You can't help but think that that would kind of be an effective strategy to kind of push that narrative out there that they are actually feds. Because again, feds don't, like the actual federal government, they're untouchable. What the fuck do they care if anybody thinks Patriot Front is feds? Like, that doesn't affect the federal government in any way. You still have to pay your taxes. Like, the FBI can still arrest you. The CIA can spy on you. Like, all of this stuff doesn't affect the federal government. But if they are worried about this group, they're like, yeah, they're feds. Get a few bots going. And again, we always talk about bots and these, nations that have bots and these bot farms. America has their own bot farms, and they're probably the best ones. Let's be honest. Like, the notion that they're like, oh, no, it's only like China and Iran and stuff has bot farms. America would never do such a thing. But it is an effective strategy. Discredit the entire movement by just making anybody who might be interested in such a cause believe that they're feds. I think it's almost like it's a first order conspiracy theory that they are in fact feds. In my mind, almost the real conspiracy theory here is that they're actually a legitimate group, and many of you have been fooled by the actual feds into thinking that they're feds to discredit their movement and ensure that it can't grow larger than it is. Because I feel like a few of you I talk on the phone, you'd be like prime Patriot Front people, but you're all like, no, they're feds. But I think you're not looking into this enough. I think you just go, oh, they're feds. Joe Rogan said they're feds. They must be feds. Look, they all wear the same pants. Feds. And obviously there were, we now know with the SPLC was funding a lot of the Unite the Right stuff, the Charlottesville, and this is kind of like was an offshoot of Charlottesville. But I really don't think they're feds. I don't. And the guy's a talented speaker. But you can see how the government would be like, yeah, just they're feds. Yeah, you got us. Nobody go join them. We're gonna get you. They're feds. There's a Reuters photo going around with the caption, members of the group Patriot Front. And this is on the thumbnail of the show tonight. Members of the group Patriot Front ride the metro as a commuter looks on. A commuter. Do you think that commuter paid to be on that train or jumped the turnstile? A commuter, technically still a commuter, during the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence in Washington, D.C. Now, the commuter was a black woman surrounded by all these white nationalists. Very powerful stuff, a very powerful photo. If you know nothing about Patriot Front, if you just kind of casually read the news, you see this and you go, it's like a Rosa Parks situation. Now, I can't confirm the videos going around, if they're real. I do think they are. But there is a video of someone that looks strikingly like the commuter. And in this video, I believe this commuter is attempting to take a shit on the train. Has her whole ass out, trying to take a shit, maybe farting, taking a shit. I've seen some people refer to her as Rosa Farts. Pretty funny. But she was quite well behaved when Patriot Front was riding the train with her. Quite well behaved. As were they. It was very civil. The whole thing was very... honestly, I saw that and I was like, maybe we need Patriot Front riding the subway in New York City. Like a new version of Curtis Lee was Guardian Angels. We just need them just kind of keep in order. If they want to, they can pass out some pamphlets if they want. That's a fair trade. I'll take that trade all day. They hand out some of their pamphlets. Maybe some of their white gaiters, like some merch. But they keep everything civil. I like it. All right, we're going to open the phone lines very shortly. I want to talk about this flock camera. I didn't have a lot prepared on this, but there's this bit. I've covered the flock stuff before. If you don't know, there's a company called Flock. We first heard about them. It was Maurice actually called in, who lives in Colorado, and Colorado is like ground zero for these flock cameras. This is where they were testing them all out. Essentially, they have cameras everywhere, just every square inch of the fucking state, basically, where anybody might be. There's cameras everywhere. They say they're for license plate reading. That's what they kind of call them. They go, oh, no, they're just license plate readers. They're cameras. They even have microphones set up everywhere. Not only do they have the cameras, they have microphones everywhere. They say they're for gunshot detection. And I covered this before. The guy who created Flock said that in 10 years there will be no crime, which is like maybe one of the most dystopian things I've ever heard. Obviously, nobody wants crime, but again, it comes back to like, well, what's the trade-off here, right? You're just we're just constantly surveilled, so there'll be no crime. Doesn't seem like a good deal. Now, interestingly, from what I'm seeing, the backlash against the flock cameras right now, and I don't know if how many of them are out in the United States, but I think the plan is just like they're going to be everywhere. That is the plan. They're testing them in Colorado. I'm sure they've rolled them out outside of Colorado, but like the plan is they're going to be literally everywhere, and they're just like, yeah, they're just license plate readers. Seems like the backlash is mostly, at least on Twitter, mostly a left-wing thing, interestingly. Regardless, people are not living or aren't loving living in a full-blown panopticon. Not liking it. There's a story out of Colorado. You can probably find this on Twitter pretty easily because it's making the rounds. A woman was charged with stealing a package, and there's a whole interaction with her and the police. Police show up. They're like, yeah, we caught you stealing the package. They're like, we saw you driving around from like 11:55 to 12:09. The guy's like, you can't even take a breath in this town without us seeing you. I thought it was just a license plate reader, but no, it's full surveillance. The officer literally was just like, and again, they just have these cameras everywhere. And he's like, we have you dead to rights. There's not even a conversation to be had here. It's like, we're just charging you. You can go to court. You can deal with it there for being a porch pirate, except it wasn't her. It was a case of mistaken identity. She's like, I had all this proof to show that it wasn't me. The officer wasn't interested in it. He just used these cameras, these license plate readers, to basically prove that she had stolen this package. And she's like, it wasn't me. Full shaggy. Wasn't me. The case got thrown out. Still have to go to court, though. You still have to deal with all that shit. So anyways, not great. Not great. Jared says, huge opportunity for a low-value male. Street Beef's combat channel, based from what I see in the chat. Goob is game. I am too. Jared is a big fucking boy, man. Let me tell you, I would not fight Jared. I've never seen Goob in person. Jared is a huge man. a very large man. And thank you for the super chat, Jared. He is a beast. Okay. Let's open the phone lines. 1-347-391-6995. Of course, we have the Patreon numbers. If you don't have them, they should be somewhere in the chat. I wish I could pin shit in the Patreon chat, but they don't let me. Why would they let me pin one comment? Patreon is like so behind on shit. Whatever is what it is. Anyways, join the list of very important scroats. You can sign up $10 tier here on Patreon. And again, if you're already a member, anywhere you can upgrade and you get on that thing at the beginning, and all the other stuff you get. You can also fund my degenerate gambling and get access to the not financial advice streams. And again, if you do not have any money, you can always support the show with zero money. Like the stream, share with a friend, leave a comment, or follow if you're a Spotify listener on Spotify. And I got a few more dates on this run, stand-up run coming up. I got next week. Is that next week? Yeah, that is next week. Tacoma, Spokane, and then Atlantic City. You can get tickets at dannycomedy.com. Get your tickets. I'll see you, or some of you there. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. There's stuff going on. There's stuff going on. Currently no calls. Well, there are calls, but Gerard's putting them on hold right now. But then, again, 1-347-391-6995. For the love of God, please, I hope that Gerard's computer did not just crash. It's very possible it did. I don't see any calls popping up, so not good. Not great. I probably should have opened the phone line sooner so that they'd be queued up by now. But you know what? I've only been doing the show for, what are we at, like 5 years or something? I'll figure it out one day. Again, this is not called high value mail. This is called low value mail. And all the calls have disappeared. I'm sure they'll come up, but they're all gone. I don't know where they are. I know Gerard's working on answering them. This is not specifically great to listen to, but here's the thing, okay? Gerard's trying his best. I'm going to go ahead and guess that his computer for sure just crashed. Gerard, are you there, buddy? You there, Gerard? All right. That's the thing. Not only do I not have calls, I'm not even getting calls coming through. So somehow they're all being routed to Gerard, and I can't even answer any calls if I wanted to. So I am going to filibuster here until we get some calls, because I kind of talked about everything I wanted to talk about. There wasn't much else. I guess we'll go to the chat here. All right. Well, it's the old computer, Aggressive Yeti. I'm going to go to the chat here, I guess. This is all I can do. I gave him, he had an old computer. I gave him an old computer. Oh, here we go. All right. Thank the Lord. All right. We got Cole here. And again, phone lines are open. You want to call in? Cole from Peoria. What's up, man?
Hi, dude.
How you doing?
Not much. Can you hear me okay? My headset's kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. Do you want to talk about these SWAT cameras, Natural Citizen, Patriot Front, or investment stocks?
Whatever you want. I mean, whatever you want.
Okay. I guess I'd like to freak everybody out first. So I'd like you to type in Caterpillar detect driver safety system.
Detects driver safety system.
Yep.
This is how I get exposed for having a low words per minute typing. CAT detected technology, real-time safety. Yeah, because I think the flock cameras were originally, if I recall, they were like for FedEx trucks. Like that was like they go on the back of like FedEx trucks or something. I remember someone called in.
Well, it's FedEx trucks and everything, but if you can click on the drivers, you should be taken to our official website. So go down to the overview and just look at the benefits section.
Okay, yeah. So
tell me what you think.
So let me read this. overview. Identify job site hazards, mitigate risk, and manage safety. Benefits: manage job site hazards. Audible and visual alerts can deliver the power to see, mitigate, and manage hazards that may otherwise go undetected. Boost hazard detection. Collision mitigation system specifically targets collision potentials that emerge behind the machine. 3 detection zones based on proximity. Helps to reduce
that's the collision. Is that collision mitigation, or is this the driver safety system?
Oh, no, this is collision mitigation.
Go to driver safety system.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry. DSS, okay.
Go down to benefits.
Benefits, yeah. Supplements driver attention. The driver safety system tracks facial features and head orientation to detect when a driver may be losing attention. Helps to in-cab audio and seat vibration alerts help drivers regain focus. Events are automatically captured and transmitted for off-board analysis and review, and then data-driven accountability. So
this thing has AI that watches your eyeballs while you drive the truck to make sure, A, you're not on drugs, you're not falling asleep, you're not jerking off in the cab. Mm-hmm. And then if it does, it'll signal alarm and then tattle on you to the office.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, it seems similar to... Isn't this somewhat similar to what like a Tesla has for their FDS? Don't they have
FDS
some sort of
for sure? But I would say that the way that this is all being rolled out is, what's the key word here? Safety is safety, right?
Safety, of course, yeah.
Safety, but this isn't a driver safety system. This is Big Brother. This is me watching you.
Yeah. This is just maximizing efficiency.
This isn't about safety.
Yeah, this is like...
Well, this isn't about safety. This is about liability and insurance.
Right.
This is being able to fire anybody when I want to and being able to get a payout.
I mean, I
need it. So,
I imagine that if you're a driver... actually, because these are, Caterpillar just sells these products. So the insurance whoever buys this for their business would be...
well, no, I'm saying it's... A lot of mine sites consider it because it gets you, like, for instance, if your insurance company calls you and says, hey, we're going to lower your rates if you install this camera for us.
Of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it says right here,
so
it doesn't
every
just
company's getting on this and telling you it's about safety.
Right. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the flock
and not
thing,
about lowering company rates.
Yeah, they're literally like, we're just going to get rid of crime. And you're like, okay, surely there's a trade-off here for non-criminals.
Well, no. I mean, they hide the trade-off, right? The trade-off is they just say to people, you're safe. Let me give you an example. Like, for instance, like MRI machines, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, because most hospitals had they were only able to get something like a piece of equipment if it was listed as nuclear, because nuclear, everybody was in a craze in the 60s and 70s, we had nuclear medicine. It was a sales pitch. You had PET scans, you have CAT scans, you got X-rays, you got cancer dosages, and so there's all these nuclear radiation wings that
just like a buzzword, kind of like how everything's how every company's like AI now.
Right, but MRI has no nuclear component.
Yeah, it's magnetic.
So literally at the time right, but in order to, it's magnetic and a bunch of other stuff, but yes, primarily magnetic. What they started calling them was NMRIs so that they could justify the cost at the time. And they put it under the nuclear medicine wing, since most people don't understand what the fuck it is anyway.
Right.
It's just, they called it nuclear magnetic resonance imaging. And even though that word has nothing to do with that system. And so you sit there and go, this word was put here for marketing and compliance purposes. And I think in the last 10 years, maybe you and everybody else on the call can think safety is like that now. Safety.
Yeah.
Especially after the pandemic. Safety is the thing.
Right.
But really what they mean is compliance and cost reduction, right? Liability avoidance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not, I mean, it seems like
it's a mundane shit. That's not really a conspiracy so much in my mind, but.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. I mean, the flock thing is now there's all these left-wing podcasters. I can't remember who I saw. That guy from the Lincoln Project, that super left-wing group or whatever. And
No.
Anyways, it's Andrew Wilson, I want to say his name, something like that. And
Well,
they're all doing this bit now. All of them are doing this bit where they're like, we would hate it. They go, do not go buy one of those green light lasers and on eBay or Amazon. They cost $10. And if you point them at a flock camera, you damage the sensor. Do not do that. But it's like obviously this tongue in cheek thing where they're like saying don't do it, but they're telling you exactly how to do it.
I do like Andrew Wilson. He's such a jerk.
Yeah. But it's interesting. This is almost like, there aren't too many bipartisan issues, but this seems to almost be one. Like, I'm surprised the left wing is kind of.
Well, no. It's not, because it's not part. So here's my issue with a lot of this stuff is none of it's actually political. And that's what's interesting is right now, like with AI, everybody's trying to politicize AI because they want a taste. But so it's like, if you can politicize something, all of a sudden, and who do you see politicizing? It's like, it's a lot of the upcoming minorities in this country, like Chinese or the Indian.
Sure.
And you say, okay, this is very similar when we watch like the rise of the Irish in America, like Kennedy and the rest of them coming up through like the stock market and other things. And it's always the same avenues in this country. But what my only point is, that's the corporate side of this, right? And corporations are in cahoots with the public. And you're pointing out there's the public side, the cops and the security state are saying, we're going to use this to basically as a diagnostic tool to do our jobs for us.
Yeah, they're using it. They're not just using it for, wasn't there a thing? I think it was in Florida.
I guess my only thing. I guess my only thing was I have very little respect for the Fed because, as we pointed out, like you could have somebody walking around escorted out of the White House by Social Security, and nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Yeah. So, like the idea that the public sector and all these cops, we're definitely going to see abuses that are going to be punished. But the idea that the public, like our entire government and all this stuff, is that while they can gather this data. I've seen corporations fail to integrate mass quantities of data, and the public sector is just like not capable. It just isn't. So it's like there's all this data that could potentially be damning, and it's going to catch some people who are like really on the outskirts, and that's kind of the point. But most people, it's like our Fed is too fat, too stupid, and too lazy to do anything with that information.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit because they might catch me on something, but you're like, if you're in good faith, it's like, okay, fuck off.
I mean, when you couple this
it's
with like
very strange.
the ring cameras everywhere. Remember the Super Bowl ad where they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna." It was to find the dog. Remember?
Well, that one case where that one guy showed up at the house. That one guy, like a few months ago, he showed up at somebody's house and was like, he lost it, and he's like destroying the camera, and he thinks he has to like save some kid inside the house. And
Harry Dresden. He became quite the good meme, though.
You're right. He thought he was like in a Jim Butcher novel.
Yeah, he was like.
Yeah, and he's got like a trench coat on. He thinks he's literally a wizard detective, and you're just
he was actually a veteran, or I don't even know if he was a veteran. I think he was like active military, and he was having just like a fucking.
Well, yeah, he was probably expat. He was probably ex-patriot, or ex-vet. But that's the thing is, I think this is just a reaction to the fact that we've got a lot of fucking crazy people walking around, and most people, like I've used trail cameras, I've used all kinds of things to catch people messing around on my property and to basically have a record to show the cops, because if you don't have video, they don't give a shit.
Yeah. And that, I mean, again, I don't mind if it's like, if it's a person.
It's a tool for us, but I don't like people framing it as a like, yeah, there are abuses, but we all know, like there's things like, how useful have these cameras been for most people? And then they're trying to politicize this. And you're like, I don't think the public sector is gonna. This isn't Harrison Bergeron, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, but look, you get some, like Palantir type tech company, and they go, hey, we made this interface for you, and it's just like any dummy can use it, and it's not going to be like the police who figured out how to use this. It'll be some other software company who comes and goes, yeah, we added like a layer on top of this, and now it's actually like the all the information gets parsed by the software and just gets handed over to them. But again, like it'll be them using it for stuff like this.
I mean, the problem is, like in the UK, we're finding this out too. These people are so stupid in the public sector. You're watching videos of like one dude sitting in his house looking at like 5 female bobbies sitting outside, like just jerking off their bully sticks, like looking up at him, like, we're gonna come up there and really do a number on you. He's like, "You birds taking the piss, stinking up out there," and you're like, "Yeah, like what? Like you have all this ability to figure out who's breaking the law, quote unquote. What the fuck are you gonna do about it when half of your police force is women and like people with Down syndrome?"
That's true, but I mean, I feel like it's less of that here. But I guess it doesn't matter. Like, there's going to be there are cameras everywhere, and it's more of just like, it's more of a privacy thing. This is the most overt of use of it, though, where they're like, it's not like we're subpoenaing Ring camera to let us get their information. This is like, no, we've actually set up the entire infrastructure, and we just are watching you and listening to you 24/7.
Okay. I mean, so you got somebody from like you got somebody who's like jerking off to you somewhere.
Yeah.
For sure.
I hope so.
But I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I'd be flattered.
Absolutely.
I guess. So let's move on. I guess Patriot Front. I wanted to kind of address this because you mentioned Patriot Front and then this hyper left, hyper right thing.
Yeah.
Versus like natural citizenship and the observation that you have all these people behaving really well. You have a lot of like, you have people behaving when there's opposition around, right?
Uh-huh.
In terms of like how you mentioned that, like, oh, this was about making, citizenship available to slaves. It goes even further than that. Natural citizenship wasn't about making slaves into like whatever. It's about making sure that anybody who's born on my plantation belongs to me.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that to your point there, that the United States is the only country in the world, I believe, that unless you renounce your citizenship, regardless of where you live, you still have to file a tax return every year. I don't think there's another country that does that.
I mean, that's kind of proof of how little we value our citizenship to some extent. Like, who likes to go to the DMV? I
understand that, but I'm just saying, like, and I didn't really think about this, but in that, like what we're talking about here, like that Chinese person who, like, or whatever, that soccer player for the United States, like, he has to file taxes. He's like, I live in London. I was born in the U.S. I've lived in London since 6 months old. He's like, he has to file a fucking tax return with the IRS every year. Like that, that Chinese national who's plops out a kid here and goes back to China.
No, Danny, no, not taxes. No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know what? It's now that you brought that up and that I'm thinking about it, it's just like, oh, you know what? This might be.
Wait, he plays for our team and he plays taxes? Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
man. He's really kicking that ball really hard down the field. I mean,
look, I don't know. I don't know how, like, if you actually have to pay. Like, if you no longer live in the United States.
I'd pay to watch him work for sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's
probably a lot of white women sitting on the porch, fanning themselves in the rocking chair, like, I do believe he would do a hard number on me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you don't live in the United States, but you're an American citizen, I don't know if you have to pay taxes or if you just file taxes, but at least they're like, yeah, we want to know about all your money for literally the rest of your life unless you renounce your U.S. citizenship. Surely there's some point where they can get a taste. Like, maybe in their minds,
people. I think you're pointing out the bottom here, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are pointing at the top side of this and saying they get all these benefits. And I'm sitting there going, what benefits have you experienced as a U.S. citizen that are just beyond reproach?
Well, the thing is,
the downside for all these people, once they're discovered and they're put in and their faces are slammed into the concrete, it's like, yeah, we're gonna take your money.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Cole, I gotta let you go. Good talking to you, man. Cole, everybody. All right, let's get to. I got a bunch of calls now. Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that tax element, but that is kind of a good point. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, let's go to. Oh, sorry. Zoom changed their whole interface again for some reason. They're just like every month they go, "Hey, here's a totally new design." Andre.
Hello, Danny. How's life?
Good. How are things with you?
Doing all right.
I saw some good news. I saw some good news for Floridians. Actually, you're a Floridian that Apparently 1 in every 7 homes for sale right now in the United States are in Florida. And that Florida, like, housing prices are, like, kind of tanking.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I'm certainly too poor to even consider buying a house right now.
I'm sure you
but
rent.
Good to know.
I'm sure you rent. It trickles down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's hear about it.
That's good to know.
Birthright citizenship.
I think it comes down to how you view the United States as a country. For
Okay.
example, I would imagine you view it more as a company. LLC, incorporated, anything you want to think about. Someone like, let's say, Goop or Slav, they think of it more as a community, family, cult, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you think of it as more of a corporation, you want there to be people who are dying to become a part of this corporation, who cross the border while pregnant, who all the kind of scams, but just to get the passport.
Yeah.
And if you think of it more as a community, then you want that community to consist of people like you.
Yes.
And
white people.
I'm somewhere in the middle. You can.
Yeah, I mean, I
Sure.
certainly understand that, like, some people just treat this purely as just like an economic zone and nothing else. Although I will say, you know what, like 4th of July, I was around. I was out and about for that weekend, and you see a lot of people who I know you weren't born here. They seem very excited for the 4th of July. Like, they got all the gear on, they got their little American flags. There's certainly not a shortage of people, I would say, who are not from here, who assimilate pretty well and, adapt. And, like, you're from Russia. I'm sure you're just like, yeah, this is way better than that. I'm sure you have no interest in going back ever or living like that.
Yeah, of course. And when you move to a different country, I wonder if you had the same kind of conscious decision that you made. You kind of face a decision whether or not you choose to assimilate and become a part of the new culture, or whether or not you just want to take advantage of whatever system exists and then move on with your life.
Yeah, which some people do.
Yeah, of course. And because I personally made the former choice, that's why I hate any kind of scam so much, because I know that people who've been, like, I grew up north, and like just going to school and knowing that there are, some teenage girls, 14, 16-year-old who work at Dunkin' Donuts at 6 a.m. for a couple hours before school. And then you see all the Somali daycare fraud and all the people doing all of those scams.
I mean,
so
I will say,
it just makes your blood boil.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this country is like, it's unfortunate, and I think it's a function of how wealthy, like obscenely wealthy this country is. Where like everybody's like, there's so many scams going on. I mean, like, to single out the Somalis, not to single our people out, but like the Russian healthcare fraud in this country is fucking insane. Like they.
Oh yeah, and I'm aware of some of those situations.
Yeah. Like it's it's just like everybody comes from some country, especially when they come from countries where it's like you're stupid for not trying to run some kind of scam, because it's like the only way for like any kind of upward mobility. And then they come here and they're just like, well, I guess that's, until they learn otherwise, you're like, I guess that's what you do here too. And here it's like probably easier, and there's way more money in it.
A funny short story about my uncle who moved to the States in the 90s. Back in Russia, he had a small business and kind of a gym. And at some point, he just calculated all the taxes he owed, and it would turn out that he would have to pay like 110% of what he makes in taxes. So obviously no one back in the 90s was paying their taxes because the system was completely dysfunctional.
Yeah.
So, but going back to the birthright citizenship, my philosophy is that it's somewhere in the middle. There is an aspect of community, there is an aspect of a corporation, And putting aside the actual birth camps, like you were talking about, rich Chinese people, I'd imagine, some Russian oligarchs and so on and so forth, which is a very small number in terms of the absolute scale. Like, how many Chinese, millionaires do you think got their citizenship? 10,000, 20,000?
Probably, probably something like that. And then, I mean, there's obviously the whole like anchor element where they can bring them over at some point. I mean, look, I agree with you on this, like in the middle kind of thing, because, and again, I'm not an American. Maybe people will disagree with me, but I think America would be better off if you have some quote unquote anchor baby who's here, who loves America, whose parents came here, gave birth, dipped, but they live here now, but they love America and they're bought into the idea of America, versus some American who lives here who hates America. Like, these like DSA people who are like, we fucking hate this country. You're like, who would you rather have?
Oh, 100%. Back in my undergrad, the most people I would despise would be, white people who grew up thinking America is founded on racism, it's a terrible country, and so on and so forth. The best people would be first, second generation immigrants who love this country, who see all the opportunities.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm so tired of hearing, privileged white people whining about how America is founded on racism and everything. So my philosophy is it should exist, primarily because America, in this sense, is the only country in the world that was obviously founded by a very specific set of people, but at the same time, it was founded on certain ideas.
Sure.
And those ideas allow America to be number one. And
that's a
good
point. It's like, what's the, dance with who, what is it? Like, it's just basically like, I can't remember the aphorism or whatever, but it's like, these rules did get us to where we are, even if they're,
exactly.
bad. They're like, we are here and everything is pretty good relatively to everywhere else. So you're like, maybe they're not so bad. But I do agree, but I'm like, the notion that someone can just like people sneak in here and have a kid, and then especially like countries that are hostile to America, like the notion that someone from a hostile nation can travel here, pop out a kid, go back, and I'm mostly thinking of China, and then they just have this kid who's like, could be
China, Iran.
Yeah, China, Iran, or whatever. You just like pop out some kid and you like, they're American now, and you're just like, it's almost like a barbarians at the gate kind of scenario.
But once again, we've already established that we're probably talking about 10, 20, 50,000 people. What are they going to do? Most likely they'll just use their passports to, travel internationally, and that's going to be one out of
light espionage,
three different passports they have. Perhaps.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about a country of 350 million people, it's inevitable.
Sure.
You can't just build a bunch of walls and surround yourself with those walls. But so, if anything, it's necessary. Like, I personally believe that, their immigration rules, they need to be established. I'm pretty right-wing on immigration, as a lot of immigrants are, who came to this country legally. So remember, the stack of papers they had to bring to move to this country, and then all of a sudden, what do you mean you just cross the southern border and get a bunch of free stuff? That's insane for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone who moved, that's just offensive. For anyone who moved here legally. So that's where I stand. And one quick thing about the flock cameras. You're completely correct to say that it's mostly a left-wing issue right now. But I only think that's because right now the right is in power. The second that changes, it's like the Ring.
I mean, with the Ring
book, it's too powerful of a tool.
Sure, but I was gonna say, you were talking about a different Ring, but like the Ring camera after the Super Bowl, I feel like that was more of a right-wing thing people were complaining about. Nobody on the left really, I saw, took too much issue with it. So I'm just surprised to see it like shift so quickly, because that was February. I'm surprised that it's kind of shifted so quickly, but seems like something eventually most people are going to.
I think naturally left-leaning people have a lesser tolerance for authoritarianism. So right now, it's mostly them who complain. But once again, it's like the ruling ring. It has too much power. So when the Democrats come to power, do you really think they're going to completely get rid of those block cameras, ban them? Absolutely not. They just use it to their advantage.
Sure. Well, they might see the people who are
to complain about it.
I don't know, because the left-wing people might start seeing what the people who are, this is getting used against, I guess you could say. And they're gonna be like, we don't quite like the
body cams.
Yeah, right. It's like we don't quite like the lack of diversity or too much diversity of the people this is being used against, and they might continue just on that front. Anyways, Andre, I gotta let you go. It's great talking to you as always, Andre. Everybody. All right, let's go to patron Dylan. Oh, we got a lot of callers. What's up, Dylan?
One, Andre is kind of incorrect about the saturation of the market. I know his area. I sold a house only a few miles from where he lives, and it's just that area is saturated, including the rental housing. It's kind of dependent on where you are in Florida.
Yeah, because I was looking at today, if someone is like everywhere in Florida is seeing a downtick. I don't really understand why. I thought everybody wants to live in Florida.
And also the thing with the condos really caused a big issue, but that's not kind of really what I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting that the Patriot Front is in the news now.
Mm-hmm. Before we go any further, are you their Feds guy or not Feds? Fed or not Fed?
I really don't care. I think there's a lot of good people probably in there, but there's got to be Feds in there.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think I've told
just
story
to distinguish, there's certainly Feds in there who have like infiltrated it. That I've never disputed. I'm just saying, like, is this a fully Fed operation? Like Thomas Russo's a Fed, like top to bottom.
The guy seems to be pretty genuine from what I've heard. I've just always been very skeptical of joining groups. I think I've told the story about when they tried to recruit me when I was a skinhead.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really want to be part of that because I've been to quite a few skinhead parties, and there's not a lot of diversity in high IQ.
Oh, you're saying the skinhead movement's a low IQ movement, is what you're saying?
It's a lot of drunkards.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really intelligent people that I've met, like really, really smart people. In fact, the guy that tried to recruit me was very well spoken and intelligent, but primarily it's just kind of people that are really, they're capable people, but they're kind of just set where they are. It's kind of a working class movement. So a lot of people like kind of don't really want to like progress past things. They know their history. A lot of them really know their World War II history. That's for sure.
I believe that.
And they're very, if you want something fixed or built, they can do it. But certain things they don't progress very strongly in.
Gotcha.
But so I had, because of the extremely mid-wit Dave the other day when he was talking about the cloud seeding or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it got me thinking about this guy. It got me thinking about government owning like fake airlines, or even owning planes that were actual corporations, like real corporations, and owning like dummy airplanes. And it started making me think about a guy named Roger Moore in the OKC bombing.
Okay.
Who, I started getting down into the OKC stuff again, and I found that Timothy McVeigh is actually one of the least interesting people of this whole situation. And I just actually dropped a video yesterday about how I believe that the Oklahoma City bombing was the predecessor to setting up for war in Ukraine.
That's a big leap. That's like, what, 30 years?
It is. Well, okay. So around the time when Oklahoma City bombing happened, Clinton met with a guy named Helmut Kohl, who was the Chancellor of Germany.
Okay.
And Germany at the time was having a large issue with neo-Nazis, and I guess America was also. The problem with Germany is that because literature there of the Nazi persuasion or right-wing persuasion is verboten.
It's illegal, is it not?
Mm-hmm. So what happened is the Germans, they relied quite a bit on American Nazi literature. And so there's a guy named Gary Locke who was responsible for distributing a lot of that stuff. And so let's kind of set the tone. I just want to kind of like, it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deep dive.
I'm following.
Okay. So in 1990, Helmut Kohl promised Gorbachev that NATO would not expand any further east. And then, obviously, the year after that, the Soviet Union collapsed. Well, one of the great tricks of that promise was that they never got it in writing or signed anything. It was just kind of a handshake deal.
Yeah, I remember this when the Ukraine war kind of started popping off. This was coming up, this handshake agreement.
Mm-hmm. And so in 1991, obviously the Soviet Union fell. And then in 1993, Clinton becomes president. Clinton's doing okay. And then in 1995, he's trying to struggle with, I guess, deficits or budget cuts. And in 1995, Helmut Kohl and Clinton meet on February 9th. And aside from Helmut Kohl being a very staunch advocate after the Soviet Union fell for moving NATO eastward, he was responsible for the reunification of Germany, and he also helped include Poland and the Czech Republic and a few other countries into NATO, completely breaking that promise.
Okay.
And so they met. One of the things they were discussing was this neo-Nazi issue. And so on February 9th, they met. And then after that, Clinton transmitted the Omnibus Counterterrorism Act of 1995 for immediate consideration and enactment. Sorry, I got, sorry, I was smoking a cigar, so my lungs were a little fucked up. So February 9th, he introduces a counterterrorism act. And then in in March, the guy, Gary Locke, gets arrested in Denmark for distributing that Nazi propaganda. Mm-hmm. He was a main distributor of that. And then in April 19th, obviously, let me pull that up. But obviously, April 19th was a very big date. That was the date of the Oklahoma City bombing.
Okay.
And at the time, it was Clinton was struggling for, he lost the Senate and the Congress, and he was struggling towards the midterms. And so that really unified the country and helped him quite a bit, basically becoming the mourner in chief.
Mm-hmm.
And so then in May 3rd, Clinton, he actually transmitted the Anti-Terrorism Amendments Act of 1995. And then in May 4th, he met with the American Jewish Committee, who is a Jewish community committee that's very big on the anti-communism stuff.
Okay.
So this is where it gets very interesting and why Timothy McVeigh is not that interesting. Helmut Kohl, his chief of staff, was Gunter Strassmeyer. Now, anyone that's familiar with OKC knows the name Strassmeyer. Strassmeyer had a son named Andreas Strassmeyer. Andreas Strassmeyer was the guy that was basically helping Timothy McVeigh get into Elohim City that he met at the gun shows. Mm-hmm.
Was he an American citizen, or was he just living?
No. So this is the thing that's very interesting. So Andreas Strassmeyer, one of the things that was very interesting about him was he spent time on a kibbutz and was very well-spoken in Hebrew, even though supposedly Gunter Strassmeyer's grandfather was one of the creators of the Nazi Party. So that kind of goes into this merging of like how Jared talks about how the Nazis and the Jews were working together, and it was kind of a giant psyop.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. When you Google this guy's name, the photo is of him standing in front of an American flag.
They removed his Wikipedia. A lot of this stuff
his
is
Wikipedia
removed.
is here, Andreas Strassmeyer, but the photo that they use...
in Germany.
Oh, in Germany. But the photo they use is him in front of an American flag for some reason.
Yeah, so Andreas Strassmeyer, one of his big things was that he was good in counterintelligence. He was part of the Panzer Grenadier group, and he was good with explosives as well.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. I love how fucking Wikipedia dings you right out the gate. First thing, it says, Andreas Strassmeyer, former soldier who was the head of security for the white separatist community, Elohim City, Oklahoma. He gained media attention for his alleged connection to the Oklahoma City bombing and has become an important figure in its conspiracy theories. They're like, just right out the gate.
Can I play him being interviewed? It's like a 50-second clip. I think it'll come through clearly.
Yeah, try.
And you can kind of hear him.
Yeah,
okay,
try.
Let me play it for you and then tell me if it's too loud.
Yeah, for you, like, were you
Can you hear that?
That's fine, yeah.
Or could you? Okay.
ever a true believer in white supremacy or anything like that? Or how did you find yourself consorting?
I'm a very staunch Zionist, to be honest. For Israel, I spend a lot of time in Israel. I have friends over there. And I never subscribe to any, and I'm probably, how would I describe in politics? I'm a libertarian socialist, right? And I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of to own firearms and all this stuff. So I was very sympathetic to the Patriot movement back then. And I'm also very critical to the government when the government becomes oppressive. And like with people, like, let's say, even people's extreme views, I don't agree with. I don't agree when the government comes after them, locks them up, or shoots them or stuff like this. That's exactly what happened at Ruby Ridge and Waco.
So that was Andreas Strassmeyer talking about how he was a Zionist.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he was the one who was supposedly a neo-Nazi in Elohim City, who introduced Timothy McVeigh to this group, who was the ones that were in Elohim City, basically robbing banks and to fund this whole operation. And one of the people that was also in this group was named Roger Moore. And Roger Moore, they called Arkansas Bob. So that's one tie to Arkansas there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Clinton was the governor of Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so Roger Moore was involved in Iran-Contras. He was involved in a group that was stealing, like he got caught with C4 and then all of a sudden they just dropped the charges. He made a lot of money selling speedboats to the CIA. He was involved in basically selling the CIA boats for the issues in Nicaragua. And so what happened was Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols robbed him, and supposedly he just didn't know who it was, stole a bunch of guns and money to go and fund this operation. And so Roger Moore basically got away scot-free as being a victim of this. One of the main things that they did in this operation was blame everything on Timothy McVeigh. And so Andreas Strassmeyer, who was here illegally, passed his visa, he was owning firearms, talking about blowing up federal buildings, and then decided to leave. Well, Timothy McVeigh called Strassmeyer 2 weeks before the attack, and then Strassmeyer decided to leave Elohim City, and then he left America a year later with the help of a guy who actually works now at NASA named Dave Holloway.
Okay.
And the only interrogation that the FBI did of him was that they called him and said, hey, basically, did you have anything to do with this? And then basically let him go. After he was already kicked out of the place before Elohim City for Fed posting and talking about wanting to blow things up. So the reason that's important
so what's the tie
is
into
because
Ukraine
Strassmeyer.
here?
Okay, so Strassmeyer and all these groups, what they had to do was destroy any of these white nationalist movements early on, because you'll see that a lot of Jewish involvement is involved in like the AFD or with Tommy Robinson's group. And any country that's like especially part of NATO that they're trying to prevent the nationalists from getting popularized, they have to take down, because obviously being part of a one world government that wants to get in a fight with Russia and lose their independence is that's kind of the short of it. But they have to get rid of the white nationalist movement or any nationalist movement. So like Tommy Robinson is a staunch Zionist. There's pictures of him.
I mean, Thomas
wearing
Russo
IDF
is not
and Mossad.
He's not a staunch Zionist, I don't believe.
No. But they're going to infiltrate that. That's what they did with, like I said, with Elohim City. And the funny thing about Elohim City was that they thought they were the chosen people.
Yeah, that's a Hebrew
So that's
word.
just another one of these. And then the AFD in Germany, for whatever reason, is very, very pro-Israel. And what's odd is that all of these groups are very anti-communist, illegal immigrants, yet the Jewish groups are the ones that are funding these NGOs bringing in the illegal immigrants, and were the founders of communism with the Bolsheviks. And that's why I said on May 4th, after all this went down, when Clinton delivered an address to the American Jewish Committee, I looked at their Wikipedia, and they're one of the very few Jewish groups that are very anti-communist. And also Helmut Kohl was a very, very like anti-communist guy, but they have all these ties to Israel.
All
It's a
right,
real.
Yeah, it's. I'll let people. So people can go check. Do you have a video on this on your channel? Let's
yeah, it's like
let's
40
save some.
minutes, but-
Yeah, let's save some stuff for people to go watch on your channel. Go over to Dylan
right.
Farnham 1488. Is that still the channel name?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Dylan.
All
Good
right.
talking to you, buddy. Dylan, everybody. Interesting stuff. All right, phone lines are closed now. We have a lot of people on the line. We're gonna get to you. We're gonna go Jake, and then we'll get to Jared, and then we'll get to Slav. Oh, it's a lot of Jew stuff at once. That's fine. Let's go to Jake. Is he there? Did we lose him? Nope. He's not unmuting himself. Let's give him a second here.
All right.
There
All
he
right.
is.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Jake?
I was like, what the fuck? It says *6. I pressed *6. Anyway, how's it going, buddy?
Very well. How are you?
Sounds like you're getting deep into the conspiracy, my friend.
Yeah. People complain there's not enough
We
conspiracies.
will change you someday. No, I'm kidding.
I
I'm
will
kidding.
say I've become quite bored with conspiracies for the most part. It's not, I'm not bored with them. I just feel like I see conspiracy podcasts and I'm just like, you guys are just like, well, you're going to talk about the Rothschilds for the fucking 900th time. Like, I like shit like like Dylan's call, because I'm like, that's something I haven't heard. I haven't heard anybody say. I like new ones, But just this all this just like super.
Yeah, let's talk about the Bolsheviks some more.
Yeah, you're like, it's like fucking 9,000 podcasts. We're just doing the exact same thing. So, but a good call from Dylan.
Now,
what's up, Jake?
Now, have you ever read like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion or the letter from Albert Pike to Mazzini or any
I
of
have
those,
not,
like
but
fake documents that Google just says it's wrong?
No, but I read the funniest thing. Apparently, like the Japanese. I don't know if this is true. I saw this on Twitter, but apparently like the Japanese, like believe all like, the negative things about Jews, but they believe them in like a positive way. They're like the Japanese apparently are like, or maybe not now, but this was like, decades ago where the Japanese were like, yeah, the Jews control the world, but they're doing a great job. Like they believe that. And so I don't know who they met with. Like some Japanese like envoy. I don't know if it was like Israel.
Like, this Jew very smart.
Yeah. But they met with some Jewish group, and as a gift, they gave them a copy of the Protocols of Zion or whatever. As like they thought it was just like real. And they're
both
like
pretty short. Give them a read.
Yeah, but they gave it to them as like, yeah, you guys are like, this is awesome. Like, you guys are doing such a good job.
Well, it's covert power. It's not overt military authority. It's using like human psychology in mass form to try to control as many people on Earth as possible while using money on the side behind closed doors kind of bullshit.
I mean, if you think about
read them
it
and you're like, this makes a lot of sense, but I can't verify it.
Like if you think about it from a logical standpoint with the Jews, is that if you believe that there's, only 15 million Jews, it's like, that's really the only way to do it is you have to gain like this kind of soft power, because obviously like when it comes to physical, you're just like, you don't have the forces. Yeah, you don't have the forces. It's just not enough.
But what I wanted to talk about more was, have you like when it comes to people who might bore you, have you come across Jay Dyer?
Yeah, Jay Dyer's been on the show before. I like Jay Dyer.
I loved Jay Dyer, and
Jay
his esoteric Hollywood 1 and 2, and his ideas on media and CIA and history and all these and military.
He's been on the show.
Bullshit. Yeah, it's all fascinating stuff, and there's a lot of fucking truth to it. I can't really see any flaws where Jay Dyer is wrong in most of what he says. Yeah. He might be a limited hangout. He might be getting paid behind the scenes. I have no fucking idea.
I don't get that from him.
Yeah, that's why I've been listening to him for like 10 years.
I mean, the most recent interesting conspiracy, I didn't dig too deep into it though, so I have to give it some more of my attention, would be Whitney Webb.
9/11?
No, Whitney Webb.
Oh, I love Whitney Webb.
With her whole
I was joking about the 9/11 thing.
Yeah, where Israel like started Poly Market or something, or like Netanyahu's. Like,
oh my God,
something
Whitney
where,
Webb
like, Israel is like something with Israel and Poly Market, and like they started. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people who are like,
and so many other tech companies, and Palantir. Oh my God, she delves deep into Palantir, and you're just kind of going, whoa.
But so I saw
Whitney Webb is a fucking genius.
Yeah, the one thing, but again, all these people who work at Poly Market are like, this is nonsense. But of course they would say that. So it's hard to kind of parse what is true. But anyways, it's interesting, at least, regardless of if it's true or not. It's at least interesting. So I'll say that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Now you aren't like trying to switch subjects, because we just keep talking about the same shit in circles. But no, you're not a really fucking huge like music head, are you? You just kind of like listen to stuff that people send you most of the time, or you have your favorites that you've come across?
I mean, I'm like probably most people my age, which is that I just listen to the same music I listened to 20 years ago.
Yeah. I kind of figured that, because like listening to you and Danny talk, I'm never giving like, you're never like, check out this new band I came across.
No, there's I like this chick, Sierra Farrell. She's like very like Americana. She's really good. And I like Billy Strings and Camp with 2 A's. I like them. Mostly I come across them just on like the whatever, like the DJ, like, on streaming, where they just like play stuff they think you'll like like I guess algorithmic or whatever. But I found some good stuff there.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of just go back and forth.
See,
Honestly, I mean, this is sad, but I am getting to I don't know if this is like a normal thing or if I'm turning into just like a fucking old man. But like
you just want peace and quiet.
I mostly, when I have my headphones in, nothing is playing. Which is, I know that sounds insane.
I see a lot of autists doing that.
It might be that. I'm like, sometimes I'll like be at the gym and I'll literally be like, you know what? I've had my headphones in for 45 minutes and I haven't used them yet. I just have, and there's no like, I'll do that on the subway, but it's because that's like a situational awareness thing slash me like wanting to like eavesdrop on crazy people. So like the subway is one thing, but like there's no reason I need to do that at the gym at all. Like I'm not worried about anything at the gym, and I'll just be like, yeah, I just had my headphones in and I'm just not listening. And it's not even like a super busy gym where it's super loud. It's just, it might just be like an autism thing. I don't know.
No, well, whatever. The older I get, the more peace and quiet is just like, there's nothing happening right now. This is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I do like that.
Like,
but that's like a new thing for me.
I also
probably
have
in the last year. I want to say maybe like the last year where I've started doing that, where I just like don't listen to anything. Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, I'm a huge music head. Like I have like 1,000 bands. I could be like, check this out. The one I would actually like, it's become one of my favorite bands, King Buffalo.
King Buffalo.
Check out.
I went and saw last summer King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard at Forest Hill Stadium.
Oh, they're fucking good too. Yeah.
And I like King Gizzard, but the thing I didn't know about them is, so I had like one album. I'm like, oh, these guys are awesome. And then I didn't know
every album's different.
They have 50 albums. And they're all different. And so the show that I went to, I was expecting it to be like rock. And then the show I went to was like a death metal show. And I'm just like, oh, I don't really like this. And then apparently the next night was like a DJ set, kind of like, it was like an EDM kind of thing. But it's all like, they play with their instruments. But I was like, okay. So I went and saw them and I was like, this is, but my brother-in-law, like, it's his favorite band. Like he...
Oh yeah, one of my friends is really into it too. But I would, if you check out any band in the future, just like smoke a joint and listen to some King Buffalo, or go for a walk and listen to some King Buffalo. I love all their music, but I would maybe just suggest with their newest album, because they just keep becoming more and more experts in their craft.
Okay.
But besides that, you're not a big anime fan, are you either?
I fucking hate anime.
The Burden of Restlessness is so fucking good. It was made during COVID, and it kind of encapsulates the feeling of being like trapped by yourself in your own head. The first few songs are really intense and awesome lyrics, and then it gets weirder and weirder as time goes on. Just kind of like people got weirder during COVID.
When I leave the studio, I'm gonna pop it on. I'm gonna give it.
All right, man. And also anime.
No.
You're not a big anime fan, are you?
No.
Oh, I'll try to make a list of things that I think you would really enjoy in the future.
You will not get me into anime.
Oh, I can't twist your arm. Fuck. I'm not doing Indian burns here, B.
No, I have so little interest in anime. Even like when I was
just missing out. It's cartoon fantasy.
So here's the thing. I'm not into fantasy. So my good friend of mine.
You didn't like Lord of the Rings?
So Lord of the Rings, I've just like it's never appealed to me, the genre of fantasy. And when I was in high school, when I was in college, but I would go home and I had like one of my good friends, he had like this sick setup in his house, and he had all these pirated movies. And one time he's just like, we'd put on movies, and I always just wanted to watch comedies for the most part. And then he's like, you have to watch Lord of the Rings. I had never seen Star Wars. So he's like, you got to watch all the Star Wars.
Oh,
we watched all the Lord of the Rings. I actually read the first Lord of the Rings book, and I thought it was great.
Dude, the Fellowship was the most boring one.
I thought it was good. I was on vacation when I was in Asia.
It's good, but it's like half of it's like, we were walking through this field, and I tripped on a root, and then someone said this. That's why I thought it was boring.
But anyways, fantasy was like, I know... like what is like, I don't know. My friend's like so into, he reads all the fantasy books, like what is it, like Baldur's Gate or something, or is that a game, or like Elden?
Oh yeah, that's pretty random. That's
He's
like magic and
yeah,
knights and
he's
stuff.
like so into all this shit, and then fantasy just I don't know, never did it for me.
Now, what about sci-fi or space operas?
Never.
Do you
been
like Ender's Game movies or Dune or anything?
No, never seen Dune. Never seen Ender's Game. I probably should.
What?
I just don't.
Oh my god! So
I know.
I've read all of the Ender's Game series.
Mm-hmm. So is my friend.
I've read all of the Ender's Game series. I've read like 25 of the Dune books, and I'm currently working. I'm like on book 6 of the Expanse series.
Okay.
The Expanse is on. I don't even. I know there's a TV show about it, and I'm like, I kind of don't want to watch it because I think it would ruin the books for me, like everything else.
I was never
does.
into Star Trek. I don't know. It was just never.
Star Trek, pretty lame. I love Star Wars though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, I watched Star Wars. He made me watch them in the order of the story. For some reason, not
like 1 through 6. Like
not in the year they
classic.
came out. Yeah, no. He made me watch them in the opposite.
Ugh. And did he make you watch the Disney ones too?
No. This was 20 years ago. So this would have been when there was just the 6. And
ever since Disney bought Star Wars, it's gone. Disney Star Wars is gone to me.
I'm just like, I feel like you're either you're either into this stuff or you're not, and I'm just not.
Yeah,
Jake,
that makes sense.
Sorry, I gotta
one last. Okay.
Yeah, one last thing.
So I can give you a brief rundown of the best part of Dune that you've never even normies that watch the movies, they will never touch on this subject.
Okay.
And it's Omnius. It's in year 2350. Mankind creates this AI called Omnius. That's a self-teaching, self-updating AI that is wirelessly linked to every machine on planet Earth. Sounds like a horror story, right? Sounds kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
what?
Dune actually... you're not talking about the old Dunes. You're talking about the new Dune movies?
No, both old Dune and new Dune movies all just try to cover one book. And that takes place in year 3000 something on a different planet than Earth.
I'm going to watch the Dune movies because I know that they're good. I feel like the Dune movies might be something
I don't like them as much. I would watch the old sci-fi Dune or like the original 1980s Dune. The new 2010s and 15s and 20s Dunes, they just make it look like a desert planet full of a bunch of weird towel heads going, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
This isn't a futuristic sci-fi at all.
Maybe that is the future, though.
AI, maybe.
Yeah.
So this AI Omnius subjugates humanity for 100-something years, and then humanity figures out a way to nuke the entire Earth and just try to wipe out every single thinking machine on planet Earth while escaping in a ship at the same time. And they think they won. For 6,000 years, mankind goes off into the stars and creates this empire of worlds where they terraform planets, they take over places, they have fiefdoms and kingdomships and all these different things. So there's this galactic emperor, basically. And they find this one planet with the only alien life that mankind has ever come across, and those are those sandworms that make the spice that increases human intelligence, that allows people to travel across the stars faster and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's not the actual case. Omnius, you find out in the end, Omnius escaped getting nuked and literally launched
don't ruin
a bunch
it for
of
me.
probes.
I might watch this.
Yeah, you're going to read all 25 900-page books. I doubt it.
No, I'm not going to do that. Well, I might watch it. Anyway, Jake, I gotta let you go.
For 6,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay, for 6,000 years, Omnius is out in deep space, just replicating itself, and builds this gigantic, I'm going to destroy all life in the universe war fleet. And then they come back, and mankind is uh-oh. So yeah, it's way more complex than that. And that's my favorite part, is the whole Omnius war that takes place for 6,000 years. And that's
what, book
not
17?
in any of the books.
Oh,
I mean, it's not in any of the movies, I should say, not the books. I fucked up.
Well,
but yeah, you have a great night, dude. Thank you so much.
I'll give the movies a try, and then maybe we can move on to the books. Dylan says he read 25 Dune books. That would make this guy 78. Phone lines are closed, everybody. We got a lot of calls on here. Let's go to Jared. The Mustache Man. And if you're on the line, stay on. I will get to you. At least you don't have to listen to the fucking hold music over and over again. Jared!
Hello, sir.
What's up, buddy?
Another beautiful day, huh?
Yeah, it's a little overcast today, a little rainy, but I'll take it. Not 105 degrees, although I'm sure it's fucking hot as shit where you are.
Well, no, I'll be in Washington. In a day or so, I'm actually.
And then soon you're going to be one of the outdoor boys, the outdoor goys. I don't know. I don't know whose idea that was in the Patreon, but that's the channel name for sure. Is Outdoor Goys.
Outdoor Goys is actually pretty good, dude.
Pretty good.
I don't know who came up with that.
I don't know. I want to give them credit. Whoever was in the group chat on Patreon. I don't know who said it, but fantastic.
I have to tip my hat to him.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I wanted to discuss the recent immigration situation.
Yes.
We've come across because this was the topic of the day.
Yeah.
And we get into the Hart-Celler Act, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 1965, a federal law was passed by Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah.
Some
Jewish.
Some say, yeah. Some say, some say a Jewish president.
Yes.
You know,
not the first.
This is not. Some say not the first, not the last.
Yeah.
This is a thing. So then we get into Celler, okay? Who is Emmanuel Celler? He was an American Democratic politician.
Celler is a woman?
No, he's a man. His name is Emmanuel.
Oh, Emmanuel Celler. Also Jewish?
Yeah, so we'll get there.
Oh yeah. He's got some. He's got a little. Looks like it.
So we get in the early life. Emmanuel was born on May 6, 1888, Brooklyn, New York. His parents, Josephine and Henry H. Celler, raised the children of German immigrants. His paternal grandparents and maternal grandmother. Oh, that means he's officially Jewish.
He's legit.
So, yeah. So if his maternal grandmother was Jewish, bang.
Yeah, it's weird that it doesn't mention his. Yeah, it's weird that he doesn't. They don't mention the parents, but you can assume 3 grandparents, probably Jewish.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I thought it was fun.
Sure.
So then we go into JTA.org.
What's that?
From the archives. I don't know. It's called JTA.org.
Jewish Telegraphic Agency?
Maybe. I have no idea. I don't know what the
I've never even heard of
breakdown is.
Some Jewish thing.
Yeah, so I got a little you know,
it's
breakdown.
like a little blog. It's like a little Jewish blog.
Yeah, you know. From the archive.
Yeah.
Jews welcome the stranger.
Okay.
In the United States, Jews have been both the subject of exclusionary immigration policies as well as the leaders pushing to liberalize those laws.
Mm-hmm.
By Rafi Weinberg.
Okay.
So this gets into Obama and this, that, and the other, and then in the 1920s, after decades of relatively loose immigration laws that had enabled more than 2 million Eastern European Jews to settle in the United States, Jews fought an effort to close those gates to the Golden Medina the Immigration Act of 1924, a bill advanced by a notoriously racist Republican named Albert Johnson, enacted a quota system that would severely limit Jewish immigration and totally exclude immigrants from Asia. Jewish leaders staunchly opposed the bill, with JTA reporting militant action against it. The Hebrew Trades, an association of Jewish labor unions of New York, brought together 136 Jewish organizations in order to wage a nationwide campaign to defeat the bill. Jewish efforts concern Johnson. I don't know. I can't even continue. I can't continue. I can keep reading.
You sound like you had a couple pops there, Jared. Sounds like you had a couple pops tonight, Jared.
Dude, yeah, I did.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But it's fun. Like I could.
You can go on forever.
Go further.
Dude, I could literally like fucking,
yeah.
Like I could get kidnapped right now and I would not be here and you would just be fucking just going on and on. And you're like, are you there?
So okay. Yeah, I got a little bow tie on this thing, huh?
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court upheld birthright citizenship recently.
Yeah.
But the Jerusalem Post claims Jews can't declare victory. The HIAS leader says the Supreme Court's birthright citizenship ruling is a relief, but is also a warning that America's promise of belonging is still under political threat. And it goes on by a Beth Oppenheim. She talks about her when her grandfather fled Germany, and so on. And mind you, this was the HIAS, so let's get into the HIAS.
This is Oppenheimer's. Is this Oppenheim?
Oppenheim, yeah. So not Oppenheimer, Oppenheim, but Jewish enough.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the HIAS, the A has the Freemasonic A and the person doing the hands and the symbol that they do, doesn't matter. But their post, their website, we fight for refugees and immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And drawing on our Jewish values and history, HIAS helps displaced people find safety and rebuild their lives in the United States and around the world. So this is where we get into the things Slav and I've talked about
About the NGOs and stuff?
Yeah, and the free flowing
the NGOs are still
problem.
majority. Yeah, but the NGOs are still. I know you guys don't want to admit this, but the NGOs are still a majority like Catholic Christian. Like I'm not saying there's no NGOs.
I will
NGOs.
Never disagree with brother. Yeah. I will never disagree with you on this. But I will always say that these are disguised as Jewish and Christian organizations when they're Jewish. Yes.
Gotcha.
So I beg your pardon if there's any misinterpretation of my stance.
Yeah, because Slav always disagrees with me on that, but I'm like, you can look it up. It's like the largest NGOs.
No,
that are resettling people.
You're right, they exist.
But you're just saying they're actually Jewish, like Lyndon B. Johnson.
Where the money comes from and the banks and so on and so forth. That would be my.
Jews own all the banks.
Yeah.
Do you just read the Jerusalem Post every day? How do you find this stuff?
Well, I just. So I hear a topic, like you guys are having a conversation. Like how I first started even calling in was there would be a conversation had,
and
I could just get on the internet, do like 20 minutes of research, and then just call in. And I got better and better at it, and we eventually, developed a tolerance of one another. You'd allow me to go from, 5-minute conversation to 20, and
sure.
I respect you.
You're a fascinating man. You are a fascinating man.
And God bless America.
Yeah. Greatest nation in the land.
Greatest nation in the land.
Sounds like you haven't stopped celebrating.
Well, no, dude. I should be watching soccer right now. We're playing Belgium, but I had to call in and talk.
Yeah. Oh, 2-1 Belgium. Uh-oh.
Oh shit! All right, I'm gonna go watch the game.
All right,
I'm
Jared.
out of here, guys.
I'll see you next week, Jared. Everybody. All right, we're actually just as not to go too heavy on the Jew stuff. We're gonna go Abdul, and then we're gonna go to Slav, just to a little buffer, and then we'll get to everybody else.
Hey, Dan,
don't call in. Abdul, my favorite Somali. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Can you hear me well?
Yeah. What did you, Abdul? Can we put the critics to rest? What did you do on July 4th?
I was with my family. We were all in the living room. We were watching the fireworks on TV on PBS. I watch that every year. It was raining, so.
Do you guys barbecue?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess you're Muslim, so you probably aren't drinking. I don't know if you drink or not.
No, I never. We don't drink.
You don't drink. I assume so.
Do
you guys barbecue?
Yeah, I personally don't. I noticed it's mostly my Black American neighbors who do that.
Okay.
I don't know why. Me personally, I don't see a lot of Somalis do that. I don't know if it's a cultural thing or.
Interesting. We're gonna need you to guys start. I'm gonna need you to guys start barbecuing to take the heat off you.
Okay. Okay.
Just trust me. Right. Just trust me. Just get out to a barbecue, whatever you want to eat.
The best fireworks, I'll say this: the best fireworks in America are the ones that I think somewhere in Virginia they do it, where and it goes on TV on PBS.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like fireworks on top of fireworks. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that program? I don't know if you know about it.
I mean, I know about PBS, the public broadcaster.
So every year they have like a national celebration. They bring in like B-list celebrities. They do a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching that for a while.
All right. Well,
so that's one thing I like to do.
All right. Well, next year let's bust out the barbecue. I'm telling you, it's a good time. Every there's no culture in the world that doesn't like grilled meats. That's ubiquitous. It's that and fried bread. What is the Somali version of fried bread?
Fried bread.
You guys must have some sort of fried bread.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
All right.
I'm not.
I know it exists because that's like everywhere I've ever traveled in my life. Everybody always has fried. They have their version of fried bread.
Can I get back to you on that? I'm not 100. I gotta look into that.
Yeah.
Maybe we do.
Burr cock, burr couscous. Any of these ring a bell? Look,
I'm not sure.
Burr? No, you're already assimilating. You forgot all the delights of the old country.
No, I think there's I might know them by different names. We may be. I'll clarify for you next time I call in.
Okay. They're like they're called Somali, often referred to as Somali beignets. Burr, B-U-R.
Okay.
Flavored with cardamom, cinnamon, sometimes powdered milk. Anyways, they're triangles. If that rings a bell.
You're not talking about the sambusa, are you?
No, I'm just googling it. All it tells me is burr, couscous, kara.
Burr. Oh, yeah. Oh, burr. Yeah, the burr. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I've been eating that since I was a child.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I was just curious. I like knowing. I like to know about other people's cultures. So.
Yeah, I'm probably maybe you're saying it in a way I'm not understanding it. But
very possible.
I got I understood the Burr one. We're very big on tea also. Instead of coffee, we do
tea.
Our coffee is very bitter. Like we drink a lot of we do like the Arabs. We drink it's like, and also like the Europeans, they do this where we drink coffee. It's like it comes in very concentrate, like very bitter. Instead of like this big cup that's all sugary and watery.
Kind of like the Vietnamese coffee, where it's like tons of condensed milk. Wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's up, Abdul?
Well, I think yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
It's very hard to listen to a lot of these people talking about, just the same old whiny stuff.
Yeah.
I know, they're not offering any solutions other than violence. Let's kick these people out.
Sure.
Doesn't matter if they're like me, they've been here 30 years or not. It doesn't matter if they're citizens or not.
Well, I will say, I don't think we weren't really talking about people who have been here. But what is your position on someone who literally pays $25,000 to sneak into the United States, to just have a kid and then they leave? Now, Cole did make a good point where you're like, that is kind of like a tax thing for life. I don't know how much they pay, but they're on the books as a U.S. citizen for life. They do have to, whether or not they actually file with the IRS or not, I don't know, but they do have to. But I mean, is your position that even that person who's literally just pay some agency 20 grand, they tell them how to trick customs, they come here or they have a kid, they just leave and they all go back, but they're just an American citizen now. They're not coming here to live here.
I think, prevent them from coming here at the port and entry. I mean,
look, if you try and travel the United States, if you're super pregnant, they won't let you do it. Most countries won't let you do it, for that matter.
The Constitution is what I'm in favor of keeping what's in there right now. It's pretty plain. The language is pretty plain. If you don't understand it, then you don't speak the English language.
I agree. It is pretty, and that's obviously the issue with getting it repealed is they're pretty straightforward. Yes, they didn't factor in birth tourism, 60 years ago or whatever.
You can catch it at the port of entry. I mean, why?
Yeah, and I guarantee you that they do all the time. I'm sure they do catch people.
I don't think, so if you do away with birthright citizenship, then people, I think you're going to end up punishing people. For example, you're going to be, what about people who we want here? I mean, sure.
Yeah. And I mean, retro.
I love Hispanics. They're very work hard. They're very work hardened people.
Yep.
They're very easy to get along with. We don't want Hispanics here. You're not contributing.
Some people don't. I mean, we'll talk to Slav after this, who obviously he, I guess, came here the legal way, like yourself, obviously. But I mean, yeah, some people are very much the door's closed. It's we're full, even though we're not full. Well, it depends who you ask, but that is some people's thoughts.
We're really not. I mean, you got China supposedly has a billion. They could be fitting their numbers.
Yeah.
India has a whole lot of people. Do you have any idea? I think the United States is the biggest country in the world, number 3 land-wise.
Yeah, I think it goes. I think it's Canada,
I think
it's Canada, Russia, U.S. or Russia, Canada, U.S. It's one of those, but it's Russia, Canada, the United States by landmass.
I mean, this place is massive. Even if you subtract Alaska, this place is so
massive,
freaking big. There's a lot of room here.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so much room here.
I mean, Canada has a 10th of the population and a larger landmass than the United States.
I saw something on Twitter where it's only a small percentage of land in Canada that you can build on. The other parts are, I guess, too rigid or something. They can't be built in. It's very hemmed in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's I mean, a lot of it is just you would not want to live there. It's fucking freezing, and in the summertime it's just like all bugs, and it's just not. I mean, I'm sure it's technically inhabitable, but you wouldn't want to live there. I think like 90% of the population.
Toronto's built out. It's already all way overbuilt out. How far can it stretch? I mean, you know how massive Toronto is.
Yeah.
How far out can it? They've already built out Toronto.
I mean, Toronto is now like it used to be Northern Toronto, like, you know, Maple, Ontario, and like Woodbridge. Like that used to be farmland, you know, 40 years ago, and now it's they're just because the thing is there's Lake Ontario, but then you can just keep kind of going north. I don't know at what point it technically becomes not Toronto anymore, like in the greater Toronto area, but there's so much, like if you just keep going north, east, and west, there's so much space. There's tons.
I really want to call in. Can I comment on last week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. All these people who have no business talking about Democrats. These are my people.
Yeah.
They're talking about, they're trying to define what a democratic socialist is. Why don't you ask me?
Sure. I mean, you didn't call in.
It's my party. It's my party. Do you all know what's going on?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going on. We're sick and tired of a Democrat, of this very small establishment controlling the Democratic Party. They're not responsive to everyday people. This is basically like a Trump moment where finally I think our party is going to be more responsive to, because the Republican Party, they're responsive to their voters. Like they're actually scared of their voters. Like every congressperson, they know if they cross Trump, they're out, right? They're very, and Trump is very in tune and connected to these people. So we want a party that, because the establishment Democratic Party, they're very pro-Israel. They're all about big money, right? Their whole politics is when they run elections, it's TV ads, 100 billion
Hundreds
TV ads.
Yeah.
We want, right? Because we want a party that is going to be more representative to the working class people, right? Because I think that's the heart of the Democratic people. The working people instead of the donor class.
Yeah.
Right. We don't. And we also do want, yes, 100%. We want a Democratic Party to the left, because right now I feel like the establishment is like basically center, maybe a little bit to the left of center. Like we want a party that's going to be a movement party. It's going to be very, very, very responsive to the economic needs of the people, not instead of the rich people. We want a party that is in tune with the everyday lives of regular working people of all races. We want a Democratic Party that speaks to the struggles of everyday people in economic terms, not racial terms.
Yeah,
the group and others are 100% just they're plus with identity politics. Remember the Clinton said, "Is the economy stupid?"
Yeah.
You remember that?
Of course.
I mean, like I said, me and the group have so much more in common. Me and Slav have so much more in common than me and some rich asshole who happens to be.
I agree.
Let's say there's a rich asshole who happens to be Somali. You know, let's say he stole his money from. If it makes me feel better, he stole his money from the government. You know.
Sure.
I have more in common with Slav and the group than I do with that dude. I mean,
course,
you know what I mean? Like, my life experience is the same. It's the same as them. We struggle, right? So we want a Democratic Party that is going to be less in tune with the needs of capitalism. Yes, I said it. It's going to be more. We want basically we want an economy in tune with the people, with the people's everyday needs.
So
namely healthcare.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. So when you hear these, like the super far left talking points, like stuff like nationalizing utilities, nationalizing pharmaceutical companies, stuff like that, are you in favor of that stuff? Or is that like, is there
I'm
stuff
in
that they
favor-
say that's too far for you?
I think basically my party is responding to the current system. We're saying things are way too far the other way. We want to bring. I'm interested in bringing things back towards something in the middle, if you will, not exactly a hybrid between socialism and capitalism, but I think the system is way too skewed to the rich and to capitalism. We want an economic system that is going to be more in tune with if it means more government subsidies. I think we need to move the pendulum that way.
And do you kind of see that money? Do you see that money coming from just like a wealth tax? Like, is that where kind of that circle gets squared, where that money comes from essentially just taxing the rich kind of deal?
Doesn't have to. First thing first, what we're gonna do if I was the emperor for a day, is we're gonna clamp down on this bloated Pentagon budget, which is basically a big boondoggle for corporations. There's plenty of money over there that we can take. We can get from there.
Yeah.
Every day the military budget keeps growing. That's not sustainable. I think you can agree with me on that. Pretty soon it's gonna swallow up the whole budget.
Yeah. I mean, it's $1 trillion for defense right now.
We can absolutely raise some taxes on the uber rich. They're not paying their fair share. Are you freaking kidding me? Compared to the 1950s, and if you just look at the data, they're not paying, and they're hiding a lot of their money abroad.
Yeah.
So last week we were talking about some of these extreme candidates. I think they're just saying that stuff just to feed their base. They know those things can't pass. I think you gotta understand at the local level, the districts are controlled by the most activist people, and those people are the most, if you were, they're the most far left people, and those people, they're like the movement liberals, if you will, right? They want a candidate who's going to say the more. They kind of like, if you want to think about it, they're like the liberal kind of. They want like a liberal Trump, right?
Yeah, they want.
Love those people.
I mean, I said it last week where I'm like, it's like when Democrats start believing that Trump is a fascist, then you're going to get some equal reaction to that, which is going to be someone who's even further left than, your standard Democrat. They're like, if that's what they think, then you have the counterbalance of that is, socialist, I guess, like an actual.
I'm telling you, this day and age, right now, 2026, if you want traction in the Democratic Party, at least when it comes to the primaries, you can't be pro-Israel. That's out of the door. And you have to be maybe you don't believe it deep inside, but you have to adopt these. You gotta say like, hey, I'm not for the rich. I want healthcare, universal healthcare. You gotta say that you have to demonize rich people.
Do you have healthcare?
Yeah, I have healthcare. Yes.
Do you like a Medicaid, or do you just pay for insurance every month?
I don't have enough income, so I'm very low income, so I'm on Medicaid.
So you're on Medicaid. So you do have free healthcare then.
Sure. I mean, I work. I pay into it. So
yeah. So you're.
I think it should be a universal right. I mean, I'm very healthy. I very rarely use it. And I just want to let you know that's where I'm coming from. And the perfect example of this right now, I don't want to keep it too long, but right now there's a primary going on for the U.S. Senate in Minnesota between two different. The lieutenant governor is a Native American. She's basically running she's like on the left flank, and the other person is Angie Craig. She's a sitting congresswoman. She's basically like, she's taken money from AIPAC in the past. She is one hell of a fundraiser, and she just reeks establishment. I hope she loses. I think
the way things are going, she's probably. Even since I talked about this last week, the day after, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, it was a Colorado state Senate, I believe, but another Democratic Socialist won I believe for Colorado State Senate last week. So you can see how it's trending in this direction. Absolutely.
You got momentum. You got momentum, Danny.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Bring it on.
I agree.
Bring it on.
I agree.
I agree. Nice talking to you, Danny.
Good talking to you. Abdul, everybody. All right. Now, as promised, Slav, everybody. And then we got 4 more.
Hello.
Yo.
Hey, actually, good call on putting Abdul before me.
It was more just I needed someone in between you and Jared.
No. Yeah, no. I get why you did it for your intention.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out pretty well for me because I'm gonna let that fucking tar skin camel fucker that know that me and him have nothing in common, and I won't even as much as even reach out lend out a hand to help him. Fuck him. So I'm not gonna have him speak for me. He doesn't know me.
He didn't speak for you.
I don't care to know him.
He just made a comment.
No. He said no. He said that him and I have a lot more in common than I would think. That's the truth is a complete opposite.
Okay.
So I'm just clarifying that.
I mean, I think he meant from like a socioeconomic status.
No. I've never been. The only welfare I've ever had in my life was those Trump stimulus checks during China virus. So he can fuck off.
I mean, I don't think he's on welfare.
And then my last comment on Abdul would be, of course, a third world shitholer would say that, oh, America has enough space. You could just keep filling it up. And just, no, the space that's not taken up is natural beauty. We don't want to ruin it because we want to accept more people in here. So
I mean,
enough on that.
You obviously have been through enough of the United States. There's plenty of space here.
You know where there's a lot of space to move people into? Israel. Let's start there.
Israel's tiny, actually. Israel
I don't know. It's the size of New Jersey. It's fine. They have enough space.
Pretty small.
No. But they lack diversity and they need more immigrants. Anyways,
I have a question actually for you that I was wondering.
Hold on. I'll just.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Danny, how much does a pregnancy test cost?
Probably get them if you buy them in bulk for 50 cents.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I thought you were just going to say, like, at the store they cost this much, and I was going to respond, well, if you buy them in, like, clinics and hospitals, get them for cheap.
Yeah.
So explain to me, what's so difficult about pulling aside every foreign woman that's not white that comes into this nation? And
that's not white? Well, there's an issue right there. That's not going to be.
No, it's not. There's absolutely.
It's not going to be particularly popular.
No
well,
it doesn't matter.
I understand
I don't
you
care.
say that, but that's
no.
Not
if they want to come into this country, if they want to come in this country, if a woman that is a non-white woman, not holding a U.S. passport, wants to come into this country, and really wants to come in, she should have no problem pissing on a stick twice, on 2 different sticks. So they know.
I mean, that's probably like the only solution to this, to be honest. But
okay, no. See, Abdul is saying that we don't offer solutions. I'm giving you a solution.
Yeah, but that's not a practical solution because
it is practical. It's practical. What's impractical?
I mean,
when they scan people's foreheads during times of massive global illnesses.
Yeah,
they got to check vaccine cards and everything. That would seem impractical when they were doing it.
Yeah, but that would be impractical as a long-term solution, like to do that all the time.
You're full of excuses, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I'm a realist. You're a dreamer, I guess.
I'm literally offering a practical solution that is you can do.
I mean,
it.
I said that at the beginning of the
hard.
show. I'm like, I guess you could pregnancy test everybody.
It's not hard. No, it's not hard because it's not even difficult in terms of logistics. It's not hard.
I mean, that's not true. So, think about going through customs. They would have to, the bathroom, they would have to literally, every airport would have to build out giant bathrooms for women to go piss. And so, okay, let's say they do this. And so a woman goes just like, okay, so a woman knows that this is happening and she brings in clean piss. What's your answer now?
No.
Someone has to watch every chick piss?
Yes. What, you've never had to submit a urine sample?
No, but also, so I
don't care about that. No.
Hiring fucking 10 million TSA agents?
Bro, they'll hire. TSA hires them all the fucking time. It doesn't matter. They're all fucking ghetto anyway. No, they're gonna have a female sitting there and watching them make sure they piss on that stick. That's it. It's not hard. You're acting like everything's so difficult. It's not hard. This is America. We can make anything happen.
Yeah.
If you think we landed on the moon, it ain't gonna be difficult to make every single non-white, non-U.S. passport holding woman coming into the country.
I feel like this
that's out of
system could
line.
still be gamed for those who are so inclined. Like I feel
Okay,
like for the
fine. We'll just
people,
not
because the
let
thing
any-
is you're trying to weed out the people who are like trying to do this like intentionally. You obviously don't care about someone who like, oh, I didn't know I was pregnant,
They
or
all
I'm,
do it
I'm going home in a
intentionally.
week. That's what I'm saying. Those people will figure out a way to circumvent this, and it'll be for nothing.
Okay, well, I offered a solution, and you're being a little.
Yeah,
pussy
I
bitch
mean,
about
I
it.
literally said that at the top of the show, but it's not practical.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, also, my only thing to say about Patriot Front is, wait, Danny, would you have felt unsafe on that train?
Absolutely not.
Instead of that, yeah. Okay. Just making sure. It's not like if you're.
I mean, they're literally
what train is
nonviolent. They don't carry weapons.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what train would you feel unsafe? Which subway line in New York would you feel unsafe on?
I'm not. To be honest, I don't ever
You know
feel.
which one?
No, I don't ever feel unsafe on a. I've never in my life felt unsafe on.
Okay, how about this? You and the missus are out.
Yeah.
And it's like 11. Yeah, it's already 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Which train and how far up would you not be like? This is. I'd rather take an Uber, but she insists on taking the subway.
But my wife would never insist on taking the subway. My wife doesn't take the subway at all, ever. But
okay, it's a hypothetical.
Maybe out in like Coney Island or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd have to get.
Yeah, no.
pretty
So my
far.
only thing was a Patriot. So it was a few years ago. This is like a few years before.
Are you of the
China
opinion
virus.
that they're feds or no?
No. They're not. So what it is, so in the 90s, that Operation PACON, it's like basically COINTELPRO, but instead of black parties, it was for like white nationalist parties. It was happening during the 90s. They all talked about it. Ruby Ridge, Waco, all that. Thing is, federal programs like that, they never end. MK Ultra never ended. That stripper Anna Polina Hindenburger, that's her real name. She even admitted that MK Ultra never ended. It's like, yeah, we knew. So I think it was maybe even 10 years ago or something like that. The federal government not directly implicating Patriot Front in their exact verbiage, but this is their response when they were asked about, like, oh, what about all these groups? It's like, we have people embedded in these groups. So
yeah, no question.
Patriot Front, yeah. So with Patriot Front, this is why this gives the FBI the biggest blue balls ever. So when you say some of them are normal, no, actually pretty much all of them are normal, because they're like, they get vetted before, if they want to be associated. They're like, what do you do for a living? It's like, oh, I'm a laborer, I do like normal people shit. So for an FBI agent, anyone who wants to be embedded with them, they would have to work really hard to have like a legit cover.
Yeah, and they don't commit any crimes. That's the thing, is their whole thing is nonviolent. So you're like, what are you even embedding? You're just getting info on them?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Because the thing is, if one of them tries to instigate anything, the rest of them will turn around and just be like, bro, you're a fucking fed. Like,
right. I mean, I've been trying to say for literally fucking 2 years that they're not, or more, that they're not feds, and everybody's just like, you're an idiot.
And honestly, I don't know what's the problem. It's like 400 dudes. Sure, they're all dressed alike.
They do lots of like community service and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, they're wearing masks.
I mean, Danny, like, have you ever helped in a natural disaster?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, what have you done for America?
I mean, there hasn't been a national. There hasn't. I mean, I've paid an obscene amount of money in taxes, but there hasn't been a natural disaster since I've lived here. Not where I live, anyways.
Well, I've been through like 2 hurricanes, so I've helped my neighbors out with cleanup and everything.
Why don't you join Patriot Front? You seem like a fucking.
No.
I'm sure you got a pair of khakis.
No, association is kind of like, in my personal opinion, just association of any kind is kind of lame.
Okay.
I mean, when it's going back to Abdul when he says "my people" when he's talking about the Democratic Party, it's like, bro, being fucking associated, even beyond registering it for a party, is fucking lame as hell. But no, it's like they're not. But seriously, I don't know why. And it's like, okay, well, everyone's like fear mongering about them. They're just like, dude, they pay their fares. You saw the video of them; they're all paying their fares.
Yeah.
For the subway. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
nobody was doing that.
You
when
can't
it was
point to a single Patriot Front gathering
incident.
where there's been a single incident.
Yeah, but then look at all the people who went out on the streets in response to the suicide of Gorilla Floyd. You know, they don't even have to hide their faces because their jobs don't fire them. Their jobs will actually praise them, give them a promotion, hell, even a raise.
I mean, that was that was the cause du jour at the time. That's for sure. That was that was the in cause. That was the popular cause for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, it's do you know where in the Constitution? Do you know where in the Constitution it protects them to do that? I'm just seeing how well you've been studying.
The First Amendment.
Okay, there you go. And do you know which amendment protects all other amendments?
No. The Second Amendment?
There you go. I mean, you took a guess. Do you know why?
Well, you kind of vaguely, when you say protects it, but I'm like, yeah, I guess having guns protects all the other ones.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had to think about it for a second. That was like kind of a little bit of a trick question.
Yeah, but yeah, this birthright citizenship, it should have, again, to the children of Negro slaves. So the last one should have been basically 25 years, so it'd been like 1870.
But it's the Constitution, right? They have to amend it.
Of freed slaves.
You need 2/3 of Congress.
Yeah, but of freed slaves. So,
but does the wording actually say it? And
yes.
You know, it says specifically freed slaves.
Yeah.
I saw actually.
Why don't you go read it? Yeah. So basically,
So it says I have this here. I don't know if this is. I think this is from this, but it says. By virtue of natural law and national law of a citizen of the United States, this will not, of course, include persons born in the United States who are foreigners, aliens. But this isn't. I think this is like an addendum.
Bro, you just read it. You're trying to reach grasp the straws.
Who belong to the families of ambassadors or foreign ministers accredited? Because I know that the only real is diplomats.
So
is the
basically,
only thing
if anytime a colored is born in America, I don't care if the mother's last name is Jackson or Washington or whatever, they're going to have to prove that their lineage goes all the way back to American slaves. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you're saying that, but they're like,
it's not, and it's not
Republican-packed Supreme Court couldn't get this overturned.
Well, no, because Amy Coney Barrett.
That was Trump's pick. Man, you think you're getting a fucking in the next 15 years? You think you're getting a more conservative president than Donald Trump?
He made a bad pick. Everyone, dude, I can't be called a racist when I want the entire Supreme Court to be Justice Clarence Thomas. That's
fair.
Yeah. I just want 9 Clarence Thomases up there. No women. None of this John Roberts bullshit. This is all traitors. We're not, not surprised by it.
Yep.
We're gonna have to make some to me there won't be. It's not difficult, but to others it will seem difficult.
Anyways, last thing. Sorry, one last thing, and then I gotta let you go. So I have a question. So when you came here from Russia, were you aided by an NGO?
No.
Okay.
No, my grandparents were already here with my uncle. So
they were already here.
They came here first. Yeah, they came here first. And also, HIAS, Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society,
Yeah.
They're the ones who coordinate all these Catholic NGOs you talk about. So just like how what is it? When the Vatican
they're the ones
announced
they're the puppeteers, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So they run cover. I mean, look, the Pope just went to the gates of Land of Zulia in Spain and said Europe needs to welcome more. I mean, dude, it's ever since.
Yeah, but that's pretty standard rhetoric from the Pope.
Ever since Vatican II. Well, I mean, first there was Pope Pius, was it the 9th or the 10th? Yeah, it was the 9th. And then after Vatican II, when the Holy See just rewrote their stances on the Jews, the responsibility of the Jew and the crucifixion of Jesus, you know, their role, they completely rewrote all that. Yeah, they've been captured by the Jew ever since. I mean, for fuck's sake, their entire financiers is just an open Rothschild Jew. I mean, the guy who makes the clothes for the Pope, he's a homosexual Jew. I mean,
you want a gay guy making your clothes. Otherwise, you look like shit.
No, I mean the people who have like the most hardcore religious outfits are the Orthodox priests.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to marry, so that you don't see them fucking kids like rabbis. But rabbis fuck kids even though they're allowed to marry. So.
Yeah. All right, Slav. Next one. Slav, everybody. Love how he just glosses over the entire Catholic Church. All right, let's go to Lou from Guam. All right, we got 4 more calls. We have 14 minutes. America is losing USA 2-1 to Belgium. Lou from Guam. What's up, man?
Hey, Danny, how's it going?
How's it going, man?
Long time no hear. I hear you're embracing your Jewish roots and doing degenerate gambling. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We're. I just thought it'd be a fun thing. I've just been trying to find something to do for like a Patreon thing. I've tried so many different things, so it's mostly just trying things. People seem to like it. I haven't lost too much money after Friday, so
I mean, I feel like this is the obvious gimme that I don't know how interested you are in it, but have you tried like game streaming? Because everybody seems to
I don't
that.
game.
Like
I don't game.
This guy. That's perfect. You just go into video games unknown, like completely new to the subject. It'd be cool.
It's you know what
subscribers to join in with you.
Yeah, you know what? I fucking I bought a PlayStation 4 like 10 years ago. Played it for a week. I was playing like NHL, and I played it for like probably like a lot for like a week, like in the like the whatever mode to like learn how to play it. And then I went and played online, and I'm like, I couldn't score a goal against like a fucking 6-year-old. I'm just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not. It just to even be
for sure.
decent at it. I'm like, you have to spend so much time doing it, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that.
I would not play like competitive games, especially if you're not like a big gamer. But have you heard of the term friend swap before?
What? Say that again.
Friend swap?
Friend swap?
Yeah, it's essentially a category of game where you and some homies team up and like play a survival game, try to avoid being murdered by like monsters or puzzles, things like that.
No, I've never heard of this. A micro genre of low budget, highly social, cooperative multiplayer games. No.
Yeah, that would be perfect for the low value community, I feel.
Yeah. Maybe if I lose all my money for like 4 months in a row and I go, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe we'll
it's definitely cheaper than what you're doing right now.
Probably, except I can't.
Some of these games are like $10. You're blowing thousands on this stock market.
Well, I'm only down like $300, so far money well spent. And if I'm up money, well then, hey, can't do that with friend swap.
Like the subscribers a $5 Danny dividend.
No, well, hey, it depends how much money I make. If I fucking spin this thing up into some huge money, there's gonna be some large dividends. Let me tell you, if I'm cleaning up, tell you what, it's gonna be very profitable for some patrons. I'll promise you that. I don't know if that'll ever happen.
We'll
So
see what
the caveat is that may never happen. But should it happen?
I guess I'll tune in tomorrow because I did just join as a medium value male.
Yeah, check it out. It's
I'm
fun.
definitely
And we learn. I don't know if you would do
I
any
bought it.
investing, but we learned some things about actual investing, and then I just gamble.
I mean, yeah, I might as well. I'm calling because I'm in a hotel right now. I'm a bit day drunk because we just got hit by another typhoon.
Again? Why the
ring.
fuck do people live there? It sounds miserable.
Yeah, every summer is just blasted by storm to storm. This one was a super typhoon. It was pretty bad.
Damn. Worse than the last time when you were saying there was no power?
Yeah, it was way worse, but it was also faster because the wind was like 160 miles an hour. It was just
160 miles an hour?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Holy
Shout out to the
shit.
Westin Hotel. It's built like a goddamn castle.
Oh yeah, man. They got good beds at the Westin. Dude,
yeah, I liked it. I couldn't sleep with all the transformers.
1,000. Dude, I'm reading about this right now. 1,029 mile wide monster targets Guam. Holy shit! Super Typhoon Bavi brings destruction to Guam. So is Guam just like constantly rebuilding?
Yeah, but I mean they're pretty good at it. It's mostly during the summer.
I mean, they have to
most
be.
Most of the summers I've been here. Yeah, most of the summers I've been here, I was on deployment. This is the first time I've actually been here during the summer because I'm no longer part of the submarine.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, it says maximum sustained winds 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can talk to you right now is because this hotel has Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must just like rip trees just like right out of the ground, like roots and everything.
Yeah, I'm telling you, from this hotel room, I'm on the 16th floor. I could see a lot of Guam, and you can just see blue and yellow lights in the distance. It looks beautiful until you realize these are transformers exploding.
Oh,
and somebody's week just got fucking ruined.
Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, but besides that, I'm having a great time.
Well, glad to hear it.
The call in.
Glad to hear
it. I was gonna talk about the because there has been a couple of weeks where people were just shitting on the military and stuff.
Yeah, it's only a couple people. It's only a couple people who.
Yeah, I totally sympathize. I sympathize with them like to a degree. It's not like I don't believe like a lot of the people, like most of the people in the military I've met. Well, actually, not even most. All of them love America. They want the country to be good, but also most of them hate the military.
But is it because they like? Is that the same as someone who just like hates their job?
To a degree, yes, but it's also because we do stupid things. We do stupid, pointless nonsense. Like I remember when we were doing a training exercise with the Australians, and we brought the Australians on board with us, and we were ready to do this thing, and then all of a sudden we got told, you got to track the submarine, so you're going to spend another 3 weeks out to sea. Now we got the Australians trapped on board because we're making a deal with them to sell nuclear submarines.
Okay.
And so now they're just trapped in with us doing this stupid mission. And the entire thing that we prepared to do, the Navy blew billions of dollars on preparing, or I guess hundreds of millions, we never ended up doing. We just blew that opportunity.
Pull an audible. Well,
audible?
Well, yeah, they just kind of called an audible. They go, we're doing this thing now. And I mean, again, it's like for you, like as a person, you're probably like, man, $100 million they wasted. But that's like a rounding error for the military. Probably don't even think twice about blowing $100 million. I mean, what does it cost to like test some of these missiles?
I mean, so like, I know about the torpedo end more than I do about the missile end. But essentially, every torpedo we have is not our torpedo. It's basically a lease. And
you guys lease torpedo? The U.S. military leases torpedoes?
Something like a lease. But essentially, we don't purchase it. What we do is they construct the torpedo. They essentially create exercise torpedoes. We launch these torpedoes a couple of times. And once it's survived several launches, then like, okay, this thing's approved to be a torpedo that we can load a warhead into and then send out. Also, a little side hustle that's available out there to anybody interested. I don't know if anybody I don't know anybody who does this, but apparently if a torpedo is lost, like an exercise torpedo, and it just ends up floating in the ocean, if you find it, the government will give you like $100,000.
Really?
For recovering it.
But you got to go out of the ocean, like off of Guam.
Anywhere there are submarines, yeah.
How many? But we can't know where the submarines are, I imagine. How many, in your estimation, floating torpedoes are there loose in the ocean?
Oh, I can't imagine a lot. They have all these tracking things on them.
Yeah, they got to put like an air tag on them. Those things are like $20.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I remember when we launched a mine, and we had to spend an entire day tracking to see if it was recoverable or if it just sank to the bottom of the ocean and exploded. Or not exploded, but essentially collapsed under the pressure.
Yeah.
And we spent an entire 12 hours looking for it, and then we saw a little blip, and we're like, okay, well, I guess it's destroyed. We're not going to bother recovering this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what just like the maintenance costs of a submarine. Is it a nuclear submarine? Can you say that?
Yeah, all American submarines are nuclear submarines.
All Americans, yeah. I mean, like the maintenance on these things must be just like insane.
Oh yeah, they're fucking bananas. We literally spend months in port preparing to go under sea on deployment, and this entire time is spent on maintenance. And there's a lot of maintenance to do because every system is exposed to like undersea pressure.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just heavily corrodes and damages the entire boat.
Crazy. All right, Lou, I gotta let you go. I gotta take these calls and wrap this up. But good talking to you, man.
All right, what's your name?
Lou, everybody. All right, let's go to Daniel from Boston. Now, this is a new name. Never seen this before. Then we're gonna go to Goob, and then we'll go to Alan. And we'll go a little long here. We have some super chats that I missed a million of. Butthole Service is the only good band ever. Does YouTube not let you say butt? Dylan says, original Constitution literally kept you people out. And then he says, get Abdul to say his only party is money speech. And then Dylan says, remind me why we stopped BLM burning Minnesota. Shout out to everybody. The Jules, Ted K, Offensive Guy, and Abdul. All right. Well, Alan's been on hold for an hour, and I tried to unmute him. And he's not unmuting himself. And as always, I'm going to unmute somebody else, and then we'll both unmute each other themselves at the same time. All right, let's go to Goob. Alan, you're
I think I'm unmuted now.
Yeah, you got it. All right, hold on. Goob, I got to remute you. Sorry. All right, Alan, what's up, man? You're on Low Value Mail.
Oh, I had heard you mention on a couple of the Low Value Mail things about how much money the Trump family is making off of all of the calamities.
Dude, it came out last week that they made like $760 million on crypto last year or some shit. The scams with them are fucking endless.
Well,
endless.
and are they doing anything different than the congressmen that are doing? You know, like
yes, they're doing it.
Season.
They're even worse than the Congress people. Like the Congress people, like because the thing is that Trump can singularly move the markets. Like no congressperson can put out a tweet and move the stock market. Like no congressperson can make a tweet and make oil go up 10% or down 10% or make the stock market go up 5% or whatever. Like no congressperson could do that. Trump can literally do that. He just goes like, tweet something about tariffs, stock market rips, stock market tanks. Like he can do that and they fucking profit from it 100%. Like no question. So it's even worse. The Trump scams make the fucking Congress scams look like absolute just chump change.
And I remember Jimmy Dore was mentioning it. It's like the greatest scam of all time. Like to promise something and then his family just.
Oh,
I mean,
when he's out of office,
decent things that's happened since he's been president. But
I mean, the tariffs, the wars. Like by the time Trump is out of office, I guarantee you his net worth is going to be like billions and billions of dollars more than it was when he started, like by a huge margin. It's going to be fucking obscene. I mean, dude, like his Trump coin And he pretends he's like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if did I make money from Trump coin? It's like it's down like 99% or something from its highs. You know, they were probably all just selling at the top. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's so brazen.
Yeah, they would have definitely sold before the war.
Of course. I mean, look, like he would announce these like ceasefire talks with Iran at 9 a.m. or something, 8 a.m. And at 7:30 a.m., some like massive short position comes in on oil futures because again, like ceasefire means oil prices go down. So like, and he knows that. He knows exactly what's going to happen. So he just is like, yeah, ceasefire. But there's like a $600 million short position that gets placed on oil an hour before his announcement. There was the tariff day stuff. It's like, it's so egregious what he's doing.
I know. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure.
And it's in the open.
The thing is he has the people who he surrounds himself with are like very sharp financial people too. So they probably know how to set this all up so that it never even comes back to them in any way. Like you couldn't even
also
find
too,
out.
the difference is like the Biden extended family were fairly basic retards that were just,
they were just selling influence. Like again,
Trump's kids are sharks, right?
Yeah. Like the Biden family, they do what most politicians do, where they just sell their influence, which is kind of like the standard way to monetize being the president, I guess, is you just like sell. I mean, again, it's like Trump's just like the amount of people who were, gave his campaign $1 million, $2 million, and they get some pardon like a week later, like tons of that shit happening. It's
disgusting. And it's sad. I'm a vet. I'm 60. I did some time in the military. I loved it. And to see how America's changed since I was 10.
Yeah.
Back when it was the 200th anniversary. I was a kid. You have a different worldview, but like nothing stopped me.
Sure.
In America,
anything
you can do almost
specifically
anything you want to do.
Anything specifically how things have changed in the last 50 years?
Well, like I was raised in San Diego, and like a lot of the neighborhood that I lived in was torn down, and everything is rebuilt, like even the apartment building that I lived in. And because they just made them more efficient to cram more people there.
Mm-hmm.
And also to gentrification. Like for instance, when I go to La Jolla when I was a kid, like now they have the fucking sea lions own the La Jolla Cove. And like, but I used to make sandcastles there when I was a kid. Now you can't go there. Humans aren't allowed. It belongs to the sea lions. And it was made for kids. Great place. And then also too, north of La Jolla, there was nothing. Like you go about 15 minutes north of there and it stank like a peat bog. And now it's all like some of the best property like in Southern California.
Yeah. Yeah, there's many such cases of that. I mean, I even think like where I grew up, like there was this kind of main kind of highway road. It wasn't like a proper highway, it was like it's like a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, but it was this long road. It's called Highway 5, and on one side of it was only farmland when I was a kid, and now it's just like all totally developed, like completely, like so far north of it. But that's progress. I mean, that's just time,
Yeah, I'm living up here in Alaska now, and absolutely gorgeous. The summertime and the spring, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Everything comes to life.
Really?
And so I'm gonna go paddleboarding tomorrow, and on a river right next to our house. It's a small one.
Yeah. You like it in Alaska? I've never been to Alaska. I've always wanted to go.
I've lived in a lot of states, and I've lived in a lot of places. The winters are cold, but they're not like, once you set yourself up for it, it's no big deal.
Yeah. I assume it can't be much different than Alberta.
Exactly.
It's not going to be. Well, there's some winters where, but see, they have these systems where they like if I work nights, and in the winter the nights are longer, so I'll be driving to work when it's dark. But then all the snow that's plowed to the side, they pick it all up with snow things and just they throw it into a big pile at different places in the city. So I'll drive, and every single night, the road that I'm on, all the peripheral changes. It goes from a snowdrift that's pushed to the side to nothing there, or a sidewalk that's plowed. Every night, the panorama changes, and so it's almost that's confusing. I have to use my cell phone
disorienting
to make sure that I know where the fuck I'm going. Say again.
It's disorienting.
Yeah, well, you can't get a routine in your brain. This is where I drive by. In the summer, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
If you have a routine for a drive, but it's not a huge deal. But it's something that maybe I'm just old, or is that just not me?
Hard to say. What made you settle on? What made you settle on moving to Alaska?
Oh, well, that's exactly what I would have said. My son asked me. He was 17, going on 18, and said, "Dad, we have to move to Alaska." And I was like, "Well, when the hell would I move to Alaska?" And he wanted to get into working up in Prudhoe Bay, inspecting pipes and stuff.
Okay.
And so and he just bumped into somebody at the Long Drug that he was working at that looked blue collar but had gold chains, and a Rolex. And he started bullshitting with the guy. And then the guy said, "Yeah, if I was your age, I would go up and do this job that my son does now." So we made a deal, with him doing some certification before I would do the move. And then I just paid rent. The deal was I'd pay rent for him for 3 years, and he'll get a job on the slope, and then in 2.5 years he'll buy a house. And he bought a duplex when he was 20.
Wow.
2.5 years after we moved up here. So
why did you have to move there, though?
We're gonna because I wasn't gonna send him money to come up here.
Oh, okay.
He might have just fucked off, right?
Gotcha.
So and I'm a nurse, so I can work pretty much anywhere, right? So I just dissolved everything I had, and the Beverly Hillbillies, we drove up the Alcan Highway.
Crazy.
And we've been here about 3.5 years. And so my son, who's 21, he owns a duplex. He's going to have it paid off within 3 years. Right now, we're getting ready to lay a foundation for a heated garage for the duplex, because right now there's no garage. So we'll have a heated garage for both the duplexes.
That's
and
and
so then his rentability goes up.
Right.
So he's a little. I'm just so proud of him.
That's great. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Albertans or Canadians who go work in the oil sands. It's you meet these 20-year-olds and they're driving a $110,000 truck, and they just have so much money they don't know what to do with.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is that he meets a lot of people like that. They're in their 40s and they started off in their 20s, and they still just got a house, a mortgage, and all this expensive shit that
some of
they
them
spend money on.
Some of them live in
baby
this
mamas.
Yeah. Some of them, it's pretty common they live in this cycle where they work 6 months a year or 8 months a year until the ground freezes, and then they go to Thailand or something, spend all of the money they made living some crazy life, and they come back and they just rinse and repeat. They have nothing to show for it, but they live a fun life, but not much to show.
Well, my
for
boy, his goal is to have at least 5 to 6 units before he turns 30 that he's renting out, and through a property manager, and then he retires and he'll just be a full-time tax.
I mean, that's the thing. People complain about this country, but if you're mobile in this country, there is so much opportunity. I know not everybody.
Well, that's just it. We went where the money is.
Yeah, not a lot of people want to go move to Alaska. I understand it, but if you're like your son, there's a lot of money. Alan, I gotta let you go. I gotta wrap the show up, but thank you for calling in. It was good talking to you.
How are you going? No
Take
problem.
care. Alan from Alaska. All right, final call of the evening. The Goob, the one and only, the Goob. Sorry, I had to mute you earlier. Universal healthcare now, says Abdul. You have free healthcare though. The Spire 2K says, how much Bitcoin should I buy right now? I think Bitcoin's going higher. Not financial advice. I bought some more last week. Only as much as you want to lose. That's the best answer. Goob, what's up?
How's it going, Danny?
Very well. How are you?
Pretty good, man. So, we don't always agree 100%, but I agree with you 100% on your Patriot Front take. I've had that position for a decade now, before Patriot Front even existed, because people used to call Proud Boys and all these other groups feds, and it is 100% a fed op to call them feds. Like, that is what the feds are doing. It's a much more effective and much lazier tactic. Yeah,
I agree.
No, if you can convince white people that organizing is bad and get them to do all the work of condemning any organization on your behalf, you don't even have to do anything. You just have to convince them to call everyone feds.
It's the ultimate psyop. There's so many people who probably listen to the show who actually are sympathetic to Patriot Front and are still like, maybe they're too like conspiracy brained and they're just
100%.
Like, they're like, those are feds. And you're like, no, they're not feds.
Yeah.
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 I've been saying they're not feds for a long time, and people are shitting.
And like, I used to understand, I used to think people were stupid. I used to call them stupid, but like, I understood people falling for it 10 years ago. The fact that people are still falling for this now, and if you haven't watched, you mentioned the speech. If you haven't watched the speech,
impressive speech.
If you haven't watched Thomas Rousseau's speech from July 4th, you need to go watch it right now. It is one of the most impressive speeches I've ever seen in my life. It's an incredible speech.
Honestly agree with you. Like, I watched it and I was kind of like, wow, it's pretty impressive. It sucks that every time he goes, I was just saying, it sucks every time he goes and does an interview. It's just like, so you guys are feds or what?
Right. And if you watch that speech and you still think they're feds, then I guess the feds are on our side. So like, fucking rejoice then.
Right. Right.
Because that speech was based as fuck. There's no possible way that speech is anything other than a person who believes in what they're saying. I fully support Patriot Front. I encourage people to join them, or if you are too retarded to, join them and you think they're a fed, then start your own group. But organize, like we have, you look at Dearborn, Michigan, by the way, Danny, I've been meaning to ask you, have you ever witnessed firsthand any of the Muslim takeovers of New York Times Square?
I mean, define Muslim takeover, like where they pray and stuff?
Yeah, where they take over the Times Square and they chant "Death to America" and all this bullshit, and how they're here to conquer.
No, I've seen one video of it where they were like, there was like a call to prayer in, they were doing some like Muslim thing in Times Square. First off, I mean, the main thing here is I avoid Times Square as much as possible. If I can walk around it, I walk around it. It's like, it's not like, if you ever find yourself in Times Square, you're just like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. It's, I don't ever go there on purpose. So, sometimes I'll just like make a turn and I'll be in there, but, for the most part,
wise.
Yeah. I'm actually really close to Times Square right now, but I don't go, like my train that I catch is like right on the edge of it, but I don't go in there. But no, I've never seen the closest thing. I wouldn't call it a Muslim takeover, but there's a mosque in the East Village that like sometimes you'll see like 300 people outside of. It's a lot of like. I know this sounds like I don't want to say racist or like stereotypical, but like it's a lot of like taxi drivers, Uber drivers, like DoorDash, because you'll see there'll be like 50 bikes or like 100 of those like electric bikes out front. And they just, they hop in there. But no, I've never seen anything like they're just going to their mosque. Like I've seen but halal carts where they, they take a break to pray, and they'll be like, I have seen in Times Square where there's people like praying, like, but it's usually an individual, and it's because they work there and it's just time to pray.
But we have, Dearborn, Michigan, parts of Texas, various other parts of the country and cities and towns that have truly been conquered. Like, we have parts of America that they have Muslim mayors, Muslim town councils, Muslim police forces, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, I'll say...
And nothing has been done about that. And, you know, to all of the people who are on the right wing who are like, civil war, you know, blood in the streets, and then also calling Patriot Front feds, like, it is time to organize. It is so far past time to organize. And those people are all the most pathetic cowards that I can't even imagine. They are so desperate to look for any reason to justify their continued inaction. So they attack anyone who does take action because they know what is happening to this country, but they are too much of a coward to actually do anything about it. And so they want to feel smug while they defend their cowardice. And I just want those people to know how much I hate them and am disgusted by them, and that I legitimately respect the troon terrorists more than them, because while they're fighting for something that is retarded and evil, they are actually fighting for what they believe in, while you choose to be a coward and denounce everyone who is actually fighting to defend you.
Sure.
So I wanted to put that out there and let those people know that you are lower than worms. You are, I would happily fight you. My DMs on Twitter are open. You can contact me.
Let's do it. Let's organize some fights. I mean, the thing I'll say about this, like the notion of the takeover, obviously people feel a different way because it's Islam, but like, this is a pretty natural thing that happens. Like, the thing you're saying right now, people used to say about Italians, like they're taking over, they're occupying every, you know, like local government, and not in like a, you know, a good way. They were like, you know, there's fucking Italian.
And why didn't the Italian mob take over? It's because all of the people had that opinion. Well, we need to bring that back.
Well, the Italian mob didn't take over because the fucking feds got involved, and they were like, yeah, these are all actually criminals. Like, man, they used to have, like, I saw something recently, like they used to have like, really, it's almost eerie how similar it is, where the Italians would have these like anti-discrimination like marches and all this stuff, and like it's like a lot of it is like so similar if you just replace certain groups. But like, people did say the same thing.
Agree,
like,
but,
you know, they're like, the Italians
big reason why that didn't take is because there wasn't in the people, there was enough discrimination to outweigh the, you know, the liberal white women crying for the Italians to well, that's right.
Probably
so
a big distinction, is there wasn't.
Bring back the hatred, bring back the bullying.
Yeah, like to be honest, I agree. And to be honest, there probably was not groups outside of Italians that were like for Italians. Like there weren't the liberal white women who were like, we need to protect the Italians. It was just the Italians were on their own, and every group was on their own. So that is a big distinction, where they've inherited the empathetic liberal white women, which didn't.
And you know the picture from the train that's going viral with the black lady?
Yep.
So that is a legitimate crackhead.
Yeah.
Who, like,
video
earlier
of
in the
her
day was filmed.
Yeah, taking a shit.
So why isn't that happening on the Patriot Front train? It's because, and this is what I've been talking about, Danny, and I think you are starting to understand this, but brutality, right? She didn't act up because she is facing potential brutality. In the Patriot Front, they were completely calm. They were completely peaceful. They never had to exert any brutality upon her whatsoever, but she understands that threat is there. She understands if she were to act like that on that train, things would go a bit differently.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
this is the message I've been putting out there the whole time, and people need to wake the fuck up, and they need to organize, and they need to unite and fight together or die alone.
Yeah. To be honest, I think if she wanted to have a mental episode and start shitting on the train, they weren't going to hurt her. They're nonviolent. Like, I don't think they would, like,
but they would do something.
Yeah, probably. They
wouldn't
sit her
just
down.
stand there and watch it happen.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I honestly don't know, because like, they are not violent, and they probably have like they're very self-aware or self-conscious of the fact that like, we're not violent, and we're not gonna, like, everybody's filming us. We're not gonna.
But you do understand the point I'm making, that their presence prevented that.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
look,
and it didn't even require any brutality or violence.
Yes, but it requires fucking 50 people all dressed the same on a train to kind of snap her into reality. But I do think if she decided
Right, but
to take
if
a shit
the
on the train,
sentiments of people changed, if their tolerance for headphone dodgers and et cetera were to lessen those behaviors, you wouldn't see them as much.
Dude, you want to know how bad the headphone dodging is?
Of, oh, are people going to, you know, band together to stomp me out for headphone dodging? Like, we need to bring that back. That fear needs
listen to
be brought
this,
back.
and then I got to let you go. My most recent headphone dodger experience: black guy blasting Tucker Carlson. I was like, I don't even know what to say or do. I'm like, this is a new one. Huge black guy.
Yeah, I don't know how to react to that one.
I don't know. I was just like, I'd still prefer if you listen to this in headphones, but I was just like, all right. Dude, like literally like fucking full JBL, walking down the street, just blasting a Tucker Carlson podcast. I was like, okay.
He's got the boombox, not even on his phone.
Not on his phone. No. He had on a JBL blasting a Tucker Carlson, like one of his podcasts. And I go, all right. I have no idea. No idea. All right, Goob, I got to let you go. Thanks, buddy.
Take care, man.
Goob, everybody. All righty. That's been the show. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Appreciate your super chats. It all goes to Gerard. Anyways, but thank you very much. That has been it. Shout out to everybody watching over on Rumble as well, and Twitter and Facebook and wherever you watch the show. That's it for today. We will, if you guys want to join in, I'm going to gamble tomorrow on the stock market, but we'll do some, we might do some educational things tomorrow. 9th. Actually, you know what? I actually make really bad trades in the morning, so we'll actually do it tomorrow at 10. We'll start at 10. We don't need to start at 9:30. We'll start at 10. 10 a.m. Join the Patreon to get access. Patreon.com/lowvaluemail. Shout out to Gerard. He killed it this week, if I do say so myself. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. Great calls as usual. That's it. All right. We'll see you guys next week or maybe tomorrow morning. Good night.
My shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurting. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5 got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. Ha. They don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. They don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't want to turn on my light switch.